What is up, YouTube? How's it going? We are here with you.
We're alive.
We're alive.
They're
We're
barely
not well,
alive.
but we're alive.
Yeah, alive-ish.
I finally got a whole 3 hours straight of sleep.
Proud of you. I'm still waiting to hit that record.
If you're lucky.
Bro, I'm trying to come out of it.
Oh, I bet
was
that's
like,
hard.
dude, it was like 2 hours. Like, I don't know. I woke up around like 4, and then like by 5, I was like, I'm still so exhausted. So I pounded an energy drink to try to like, I can't
that
even.
sounds healthy.
Bro, like,
I felt bad. I
was
took a
still
nap.
the same
Yeah.
as how I felt last night after sleeping. I was like, oh,
Oh, that's rough.
my ear finally got better from the plane. Now.
Oh, no wonder.
Proud of you.
I'm on the wrong channel. I was like, why can I not see my own live?
Oh, I was like, are we live?
No, it was my fault. I was logged into the Here for the Speed channel instead of my channel, so.
Rude.
Yep.
How rude.
Oh, there it is.
Hello,
Okay.
rude.
All right, I'm good. I'm ready when you guys are ready to start.
Give me a few seconds. I'm gonna drop
Send
this
everything
link to some people.
Matt, how much sleep you got?
Me?
Yeah.
Let's see. Within the last from Saturday till today, I think I have somewhere between 6 and 8 hours at most.
Total.
From
I might be
Saturday,
like 9.
Saturday at 6 a.m. to currently, right now.
Y'all nuts.
It's wild.
I'm probably
I feel
right around
fine.
10.
I don't know. It's kind of like those little like 2 hour,
You
like
got
1
just
hour and a
enough.
half.
You need
It's
another.
kind
You need another drinky poo.
of drinky boo.
Let me know,
Oh my
Jake,
God.
when you're ready. And
Plenty of drinky
Sorry, I
Start-
got distracted by telling stories. Hold on.
I figured.
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah, it was clutch. Uber was clutch this trip.
I would
Dude,
imagine.
I'm so glad we didn't have a rental car.
Yeah, that would be horrible. I couldn't imagine.
There was nowhere to park in the city.
Well, that
no,
night-
nowhere to
there
go.
was nowhere to park at the track. Like,
well, don't
dude,
get into too much. We're not even
Oh
on the
my
podcast
goodness.
yet.
Anyway,
We're just live on YouTube.
Uber.
I'm ready if
What-
you're ready.
Okay, what's up?
Who
All right,
almost
so-
dropped somebody wrong. The link.
all right, you guys ready?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Kyle Larson's attempts to run the double are foiled by Mother Nature. Jake and Matt were in Indy for the race and the experience, and even the Coke 600 couldn't stand to help but be affected by the weather. We are here for the speed. You missed your chance. Just go ahead and do it. Perfect. We are here for the speed. I'm DJ. I'm glad to be with you guys. I'm joined, obviously not by him because he's drinking, but with
Hey, this is a very I don't know, man. This is an RFK fan who was robbed. At the end of the day, we got
again.
robbed.
Listen. You should be used to it by now.
Bro, this is personal at this point. I'm boycotting things. That's it. We got a whole movement going.
You're so dumb.
The
All right.
revolution has begun.
What's up? I'm Jake. Very tired, but I'm here. Made it.
It was a long experience. So you guys were in Indy. So I promise we are going to talk about the Charlotte race. We will get to that. But
Was it a race in
obviously
Charlotte?
not for you guys. But obviously we got to talk about you guys because you guys went to Indy. We're attempting to do the double with Kyle Larson, and obviously Kyle Larson's attempt didn't go real well. But how was y'all's
Our
trip?
Uber driver refused to take us to North Carolina. It was very rude. He said after a 4-hour rainstorm, no, absolutely not. I was like,
No.
come on, man. Cut me some slack. He said no.
Oh man.
Wasn't willing.
Well,
So
do we just
follow
want to
that
get right
helicopter.
into it, or what are we gonna
Yeah,
do?
might
yeah,
as well.
yeah. That's the whole point.
You know?
Go
We
for
didn't
it.
put many notes together because we were trying to sleep what little bit we could.
Yeah, I mean, we got into town today. We flew into Orlando at 8 o'clock this morning.
We landed at what 7:30, right?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah,
So the flight was 5 to 7. 2 hours. That's not bad for Indy.
it really wasn't bad.
You know?
No, I think
Much better than the 14-hour drive. Would definitely not have wanted to do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
So-
think Indy's a 2.5 hour flight, something
Yeah.
like that.
Well, I guess we caught good wind both ways, so it was supposed to be like 2.5, but then it only took us like 2 hours.
Is that like going downhill both ways?
That's what it felt like. Depends on what your theory of the Earth is.
I don't know. Looked pretty flat up there.
Anyway,
fun.
Saturday.
So
we
what
started-
time? What time did you guys leave here?
We left the front door at
I can't
7 a.m.
remember. 7 a.m.?
7 a.m.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll roll with you. So
Yep.
7 a.m. we left here. We got to
We were pretty much gone in total 49 hours. So we're gonna call this the 49 hours at Indy.
It didn't
Yeah.
have as much of a ring to it. Let's just call it 50.
Let's just round
Whatever.
up.
Whatever.
I've rounded up.
The
okay?
Indy 50. So yeah, we left at like 7. Got to the airport. Here's where the drama starts.
Yes.
So
That
on
soon?
Friday, like it was just going crazy at work. I was planning on leaving early, so I had plenty of time to come home and pack. And it just hit the fan. And I just text my wife and ask her, "Hey, please text Matt's wife and set up arrangements for dropping us off at the airport." So I leave it there. Like I've left it in your hands, you and Megan's hands. Y'all can figure it out. And we wake up Saturday morning and it's 7 a.m.
I
or
had no knowledge
6:30.
of this.
And Lindsay and Megan go, yeah, basically, I don't know. They both have different stories, but basically they didn't figure it out. So me and Matt were like, okay, I guess we're just going to drive to the airport. Fine.
That's what I was doing. I was sitting in my truck. Jake's like, "Are you driving?" "I'm driving." I was like, "I'll drive." "Whatever." He's like, No, I'll drive." I was like, "All right, cool."
So we
'Cause I had to
decided,
get
all right.
gas anyway, so I was like, I don't.
I did not want to park at the airport for this very reason. This
I
is
did
what
not
I was
think about any of this.
I was a little nervous about this. We show up to the airport. The garage is full.
Both
We're like, okay.
A side and
And
B
it's,
side.
if you don't know, the Orlando airport is huge. I have never seen the garage full in my life, ever.
No.
So we're like, well, where do we go now? And luckily, they have signs. All right, go to the north parking lot, whatever. So we go there, completely full,
Yep.
and you can't park there either. So we're like, what the heck? Where are we gonna go now? Go 3.5, 4 miles away to the west parking lot, which all the airports or the east, like they call it the
It
west.
was west.
Yeah.
Yeah. it
So
was
all
west.
the airport and parking and terminal entry is all on the east side of the airport, and the airport's huge, so you have to park on the west side,
You get shuttled over.
almost like 5 miles away. So me and Matt are now starting to get nervous, like
We had a 2-hour crunch time, and now we,
we
just
were
lost
eating
30
it away.
minutes.
Yeah.
And we're like, we don't listen. Okay, so my background: I haven't been on a plane in like 18 years. Just haven't.
That's a long
Wherever
time.
we travel, we usually drive, and it's usually to a racetrack. There's just no real need for me to go on a plane. So this was kind of like, man, I haven't done this in a long time. Like, I don't even know what TSA is like. Last time I flew, I had my parents there. Like, I don't know where we went.
So and so for me, it's been like 5 years since I flew. But anytime I have never booked flights, I have never anything because I either went with my parents and just followed them around like, oh, okay, here's this. Like, didn't know. And same thing with me and my wife went on
No
trips.
clue.
She just did the whole thing. So I was like, where are we going? All right, this way. All right, whatever.
So I'm like,
So
okay,
like, we're
the,
like two little kids trying.
the general rule was like, oh, okay, you get there 2 hours early. Makes sense.
Generally,
want to
yeah.
get there 2 hours early, find everything, get all seated, everything's good.
Especially because the
I don't know
security
what
in Orlando
happened.
is not great.
We got through in like 10 minutes
It's
after
so,
being late. Like, we were probably through TSA in 10 minutes.
I'm glad we showed up early though because we made it to our gate like 5 minutes before boarding started.
Yeah, just enough time to go get a snack.
And then me and Matt,
turn right back around.
me and Matt wanted to risk it and go try to find a snack and hope we could
We
get-
did.
get food and get back before boarding ended.
Yeah, that was kind of fun.
yeah.
did.
So
They had
we
a
started
pizza.
risking it for the biscuit right
And
from
then,
the start.
So we went with Spirit, right? Again, haven't flown 18 years, 20 years for me, and I'm 27, so I was real young.
I'm curious.
Wasn't that bad?
I was gonna say I want to know what y'all think about
so.
Spirit.
Not
My
bad.
general consensus.
I mean, you're
I
paying-
didn't think it was that bad. It wasn't comfortable. Like
It's
my
not meant
knees
to
were.
be.
My knees were in the back of the seat, but like it was fine.
So
Like, AC worked. Like
I
we were
had
there.
to-
They offered us drinks.
So
you
for
know.
a while I was
They
having
didn't
to
offer
fly.
drinks. You don't get anything. Nothing
you-
complimentary.
No, of course not. No, I had to fly on
They gave
Spirit
us
a
the
lot.
option.
Yeah, most airlines include that. They don't.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I just thought you just.
is true.
You had
No.
2 hours to starve or whatever.
This
No.
is like the
I
bottom of
didn't
the.
know.
Like, luckily our flights and everything, nothing was delayed. But like, this is the bottom of the barrel.
It is.
Really?
So I'll
Well,
tell
you
you.
didn't want to pay over
Yeah.
$200 for flights, so limited our options.
Yeah. I mean,
It
So
did
I-
make me miss when my
I-
parents took us to a trip and we went first class Delta.
oh jeez,
That was a little sad.
that's a
It
little
was, like,
different.
a little rough.
Yeah, no. So I've flown a lot of Spirit. I had to fly like once a month for a while, and like flying on Spirit, yeah, it's great for the price, but I only had to fly for like 2.5 hours at a time. And if
That's
I had
all
to
I would
do,
do.
yeah, if you had to do like long trips with it,
I would probably cap it at 3 hours.
yeah.
Then
I've-
that would be. You must really want to get there and save money.
I think I
That's
did.
where I'm
I
capping.
did one time to California, which is like 5 hours total, but we stopped in Dallas, so it kind of broke it up to where it was like, okay, that was manageable,
yeah.
but yeah, otherwise no.
So anyways-
anyway, you get
So
there.
I mean, all my other travel experiences in a car, and that gets cramped. But you at least get about every hour or so you can stop and get gas and stretch. So
I will say the
a little
one thing
different.
that sucked about the flight, their airplanes are notoriously cold. Bro, that airplane was hot.
Yeah, well, I think it was an older plane. It
Sitting
was
there
hot.
just-
AC was probably
sweating.
off.
It was.
They were
I
probably
think
trying to
so.
be more
No, they
efficient.
took off when during takeoff they turned the AC off.
So-
and everybody's up there reaching like, Hey, is this coming back on?
So me and Jake were sitting there. They came around the drink cart. We got some drinks. We were having fun. And out of nowhere, we're watching videos on. He downloaded some videos on YouTube, and he's just Matt, look out the window, right? Loud. So I'm like, what? We're looking out the window, and everyone in the plane hears us. So they're all looking out the window. We flew over Talladega. He wanted to point out that was Talladega. He's like, what are the odds? I looked out the window at the exact same time. I was like, I don't know what the odds are, but that's cool.
I was like,
And
man, the flight path and like when because like we hadn't looked off our phone for like 10 minutes. I just happened to glaze out the window. I'm like, oh, that's a racetrack. That's cool. I was like, got a lot of clay in the middle. I think it's Talladega.
the level of like
But it was hilarious. Like Matt said, like
the height-
20 people around us. Everybody started looking out their window.
the
They're
height
thinking
of everyone.
they're
and then
thinking
they
a
just-
door's about to come off.
Yes, like something's on the plane. The height of everyone, and then realizing, oh, it's a racetrack.
Well, the good news is,
They're like,
was hilarious.
the good news
okay.
is the Spirit flies Airbus. They don't fly Boeing, so you should be okay with that.
Yeah.
I didn't
felt
even know
safe.
that's a thing.
Oh, I did because
okay.
everyone was making jokes about like Boeing and everything, and everyone's like, everyone's making fun of Spirit, but they fly Airbus. Don't have
Yeah.
to worry about it. Like it was like a
Hey,
thing.
listen, hats off to Spirit. I thought they did a great job. We got there. We had to fly through a little bit of turbulence on the way back. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
I
For
couldn't
as bad
say
as-
anything. Nothing
for,
was bad.
For as bad as a rep as they get, it really wasn't that bad.
No.
The
I
problem.
mean, we knew
You
it's
have to
definitely
know
the
what
worst
you're
seat
doing.
I've ever sat on a plane, but I mean, we paid what, like $130 for the flight? So,
We can
that's
trade next time.
round trip.
huh?
We can trade next time. I
What?
was in the middle.
Oh, no. I'll take it a window. I
Yeah,
paid an
okay.
extra $3 so I can have the window.
They do also have.
You didn't even want to pick seats. You were going to be in the middle with two randoms.
Yeah, I don't care.
No, look at this big guy
I'm
right
that
here
guy.
with his arm. Yeah, oh yeah.
They don't- do they
I
still
wasn't
have-
gonna say anything, but Matt is the guy. If there's an armrest, he's taking it and some.
Hey, man. Assert your dominance.
There's no respect of hey, here's the middle of the seats. So I just like laid up
I ain't
against the
gonna
window
lie.
like this the whole time.
Yeah, you kind of did. I took advantage of that because
I mean,
I
you
wasn't
didn't
going to
give
be
me a
leaning.
choice.
I wasn't going to be leaning on the other
Matt
guy.
sits
I
down.
was like, I can at least lean on Jake. He'll be all right.
You were gonna lean on the random next to us.
No. Either
What
way.
do you say? Rubbing alcohol.
This guy, listen, I don't know what he was wearing, but his cologne straight up just smelled like rubbing alcohol. It might have been an aftershave. I don't know, but it was very potent. So
Anyway.
it smelled very clean around.
So you didn't want to
us.
cuddle up with him. It's
No,
all good.
that was good.
I like what Lewis says. MCO Orlando Airport is way too small for how big it is.
Yeah,
It's absolutely insanely
it is.
small.
I
It's crazy.
think it's because all of a sudden it was just, oh my God, we need a bigger airport. So anyway, we have people,
land.
We have people asking about the Indy, so let's get there.
Yeah. So we land. We kind of we made no plans for Saturday. None. We're like we'll land and we'll see what happens. And so we decided, let's go to a Hooters downtown.
We were
and-
hungry.
and
We're like,
watch
we don't know where to
the,
go. Let's find a
Xfinity
sports
race.
bar to watch the race.
Yeah.
Don't know
So
anything about the
We
town.
get in the Uber. We get down there, and we're like, man, the parade is going on still. And like we actually, because we made up a half hour on the flight, like let's
Right.
go. And so we went and we kind of wiggled our way in and got us actually pretty much a front row spot for the parade, which was
Yeah.
incredible.
It was so
Really?
cool.
Not that it was some crazy thing that happened, just the setup, and they spread the drivers out throughout the parade, and then they have marching bands and different
This is like a
celebrities.
Macy's Day parade kind
Yes.
of thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it rivals Macy's Day Parade. in my
Really?
opinion.
That big?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I mean, it lasts 2 hours.
Yeah.
Dang.
It was a
couple
lot.
thousand people in
Like
the
it
parade.
wasn't like crazy floats, but they had like a lot of like cultural stuff and these kind of groups in the city, and it was just really cool.
I would say from where we sat and looking at the map of the parade route ahead of time, based off of how many people I saw right there, which we weren't in the premium viewing spot, which was closer to the downtown, what they call the fountain, the memorial in downtown. They, I would guess there's easily 100,000 people there for that parade.
I
Easy.
wouldn't doubt it. It was
Easy.
crazy.
Dang.
You know what was even wilder? This is what I thought. How many parades do you know you could just run up to someone and get a signature?
I don't think they were supposed to.
Nobody stopped anybody. It was insane. There was cops around
They
watching
run
it.
up.
It's
They
not
run
like
up to
it
the
was like
trucks and get driver signatures.
yeah. Could
Yeah.
you imagine being at like Disney and seeing Cinderella, beelining it to the float and getting an autograph
So you say that, but they did actually have that at one time.
at one time?
The Millennium Parade was supposed to be that way, but they
couldn't
didn't have.
imagine
They
that.
didn't have like. They didn't have. It didn't last. It didn't work
I completely
because
understand.
nobody did it because everyone's like, yeah, we're not supposed to run out in front of. But the whole idea was to be more interactive. It
but they
didn't
still
work.
had to have the streets open for people to cross too.
Oh, jeez.
So people were still like crossing and running across the street in the middle of like all these drivers and horses and parades and baton people. I don't know all the stuff.
So
but
something
it
I
was crazy.
realized during the parade was I could not believe how many businesses were shut down.
Oh yeah,
Like everything, almost everything was shut down. Like in,
Like in
not
downtown?
just for the parade, but all weekend.
Mhm.
And I was kind of like trying to put it together, and I guess it's just because everybody goes to the race, so maybe they just don't have
Maybe.
people to do the work. Because if you're a restaurant, why wouldn't you stay open? It's got to be your best weekend of the year.
You would think,
Right.
yeah.
But I mean,
but if they
we
can't
saw
play
like
the races,
Five Guys, Jimmy John's. I mean, everything on Saturday, everything except for like Hooters and a few bars.
Hooters was
closed.
extremely understaffed.
Oh man, I felt so
there
bad
was
for them.
maybe for everyone one of the only places open. There maybe had 4 waitresses.
Yeah,
For the
four
whole
waitresses
place.
for
And
a
one
couple
bartender.
hundred people. Oh yeah, I felt so
Yeah.
bad for them.
That
But
we were
that's
like-
probably why is because I kind of put this together. Is I just think everybody's going to the race.
I guess.
They
yeah.
probably all put in time or whatever.
I mean, how many restaurants? I mean, we'll get to it, but leaving the race, how many restaurants did we pass that were all closed? And me and Matt were like, we need food.
oh, it was insane.
We were starving, man. But yeah, everything was closed. I mean, just even like all the banks were closed, but they didn't say closed for Memorial Day weekend. Closed for race weekend.
Yeah.
Everything.
That's how you know what's important.
Everything. Even like you go to like a Chase Bank or
Yeah.
whatever bank, and they have like the 2 doors, and you can get in and get to the ATM. Closed. Totally closed. Couldn't even get in there because I saw
dang.
Chase Bank. I was like, oh, I'll go get some cash, whatever. Closed. Everything was closed.
Yeah.
It was pretty wild.
That is wild.
A few random
Except for like
places.
the taverns, like the bars and stuff.
That
those
was
were
it.
still open. That was about it. But they didn't have food, so it was just drinks. So it was
Yeah.
wild. So
So we did that, and then we decided, well, we're in downtown. Let's walk around. And so we explored downtown. We went to a couple of the different memorial sites. Like they had that statue in the center of
I don't know
town.
what it's called, but that thing was cool.
It was massive,
huge,
super huge.
unbelievable. Like
It was
it's not like a little like it's like 2-3 stories high. No, it's like the size of a skyscraper tall.
I remember it was like a memorial to Union soldiers and
It's like the Secret
Spanish
War or something like that. The
Indiana.
Untold War.
It was them, and then it was the soldiers that were went to fight in the Spanish War.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So kind of 2 there, and it showed how many people, and it was like a bunch of people. I was like, wow.
Oh, it was like
Oh, dang.
the Indiana Volunteers,
Yeah.
or something like that. Very cool statue.
Trying to rob Tennessee a little bit, but it's all right.
I
You
think
just had
every
a lot of
state
cool
had
feet.
one, Jake.
Yeah, it had
Probably.
really cool features to it. Like there was like battleships in the center of it with cannons and
The art.
What
the
is it with this
artistic
town's
work was
like
incredible.
like fascination with cannons?
I don't know. It's nowhere near the ocean, so I don't know why they had battleships.
Yeah, right.
like, I don't get
one
that,
thing
but
I want to say, we were so shocked. That was the quietest downtown I've ever heard in my life.
silent
Quiet.
during
Like
right
you
after
go to
the
downtown
parade.
Orlando.
Yeah, it's
Downtown Orlando is loud.
Yeah.
Loud.
You got usually
Quiet.
constructions going on,
All the
horns,
homeless people,
all
yeah,
that
like-
stuff.
But
Quiet.
I mean, we talked to some of the locals. They're like, "Yeah, this is normal. It's quiet." But I mean, there's cars. I don't know, like if it's just the way it's built or what.
Weird.
It's just quiet.
Yeah.
Super quiet.
Very eerie. Not,
I've
I don't
only
wanna say eerie.
I've been
Almost
to,
felt like
different.
like just kind of dead, like nothing going on.
Maybe they were
Not
all,
dead
I don't
like
know. Maybe they
whatever,
were
like,
at like,
you
the track.
guys
I
did
don't know.
share
It
like
was
one
quiet.
video where you guys were like waiting in downtown, and it looked like a ghost town.
It was just
I
quiet.
don't know where everyone was. It was like
They
4
were
o'clock.
They were at the track.
I guess
Probably.
I don't-
Well, there's nothing on Saturday.
Why would they?
Other-
Be, I mean, there was like signature day. Like you can get signs, as like everything's signed, but it's not race day. You know.
Yeah.
So we did that. Hung out for a while.
Then we found a good spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, I guess after the parade, we did go back to Hooters and got them to change a bunch of the TVs to the Xfinity race.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Everyone
had to do
needs to
that.
watch the Xfinity race,
How do they not have the race on?
bro.
Like something.
Racing capital of the world, my butt.
I was gonna say maybe the fact was that the day I can't remember. Was that when the Pacers and Celtics were
Yeah,
playing?
Yeah,
that
but
was that
we
night.
were
So
looking
you
at it.
There was no basketball on either.
No,
It was like UFC, golf.
I want to
women's
say
tennis. Dude,
Horse
it was
racing?
weird. It was a weird horse racing.
There's a
It was
lot
a
of horse
weird
racing.
lineup.
What the heck?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
So we got them to change a bunch of the TVs to the Xfinity race so everyone could enjoy.
Everyone was watching it too.
Me and Matt sat at the TV, so we had them change the TV behind me and the TV behind Matt, at least. So
You're over there like
everyone in our area,
we're gonna
in the
get-
seating
we're
area,
gonna start getting
We are
fans.
watching the Xfinity race.
Everyone was. There was a lot of people. So later that night, I met the guys that we were having lunch next to because everyone was kind of bar hopping, like moving around.
Yeah.
So I met them. They were from I want to say they were from France. 'Cause-
London.
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 They were over there. But
Across
they
the
were,
pond
their
somewhere.
driver was VK.
Yeah.
The guy who was like
Oh.
almost eliminated, and then he put down that smoker.
Yeah.
And so they flew in from London, and they were all rooting for him, and that was fun and stuff. But they were commenting about the NASCAR race. They knew the
Yeah.
drivers, like
Really?
for whatever reason. They're like, "Oh, look."
Yeah, I mean, that's Xfinity. They knew
God,
all the
they
Xfinity
knew it.
guys.
And I'm like, "That's wild. That's kind of weird."
I mean, NASCAR is starting to get a presence over there, so maybe
It was kind of fun to have like a group. It seemed to be all race fans. Obviously, we're in Indy, but something would happen to be a wreck, and like the whole group of like 4 or 5 tables, like, oh, like
Yeah, it was
I was
kind
like,
of
oh,
fun.
that's kind of a fun environment.
Yeah, right.
Like all your buddies at a bar watching a race.
Yeah.
So we finished there, and then we ate entirely way too much. We're so full.
We had to.
And then we started kind of bar hopping and going around downtown just to kind of explore and into the afternoon, and met a couple people and bounced around with them. That was fun. That we met these one random guys, and they're like, "Hey, we're doing a pool, and my guy's never seen a race before. Who should he pick?" And I told him on Saturday, pick Joseph Newgarden, because I told Matt last week about midway through practice last
Yeah,
week, Newgarden's going to
Newgarden's
win
fast.
this race. So hopefully, I won him some money if he trusted me. But
And why wouldn't he? Because,
Hey.
some random.
I told him I want Kyle Larson to win, but Newgarden's
I
going to
think
win.
he had Stingray Robb as his pick. I was like,
No, don't do that.
No.
I was like, I'd probably switch that one,
No.
buddy. If you're not picking
Um,
Penske, I don't know what you're doing. To be honest, like
Penske or even McLaren wasn't bad.
We hung
McLaren,
out
McLaren.
at the tin roof.
yeah, we
That
were there
was
for
awesome.
a while. That was
Yeah, we got lucky. As soon as we got there, a table opened up.
yeah. I
There
saw
was
that.
no
I saw that,
tables.
and I snagged it. I was
That
like,
place
nope,
was-
I'll take that.
Packed.
It was all
Really?
college.
Around the bar was 3-4 people deep to get in line to get to the bar.
Yeah.
It was crazy, dude. Super packed.
See, I-
Again, that was catty cornered from the stadium for the Pacers
Oh,
game.
gosh.
Yeah, so that place was
That was the place to be.
packed.
Yeah.
Yep. They had like they didn't have live music. They had like what was it like? I don't want to say
No, they had a
it was a
DJ.
DJ. Yeah,
Yeah.
DJ.
Loud music, DJ. It was pretty fun.
Yeah. We were there for a while because we were just
A
chilling.
couple hours at least.
Yeah.
Meeting random people, hanging out. And then from there, we went to we went to like a pool bar or something like
It
that.
was,
Mark was not there, to be clear.
no, Mark was not there. Sadly,
Oh, yeah, right.
Mark would have
totally
some
missed
fun
that
out
one.
at Indy.
Yeah,
Mark
hey,
would have a
Mark,
lot
we
of
need to
fun.
talk about a pool bar in turn 3.
We got to think about that. That would be awesome.
But no, we went to like one place, and everybody's like, "You gotta go here. It's awesome." Da, 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 da. And we show up, and it is the most boring place. I'm like,
Dude.
we out.
And they're like, so
we walked in, hit the restroom, and walked right back
okay,
out.
So a little bit of a weird thing. Indianapolis is the same time zone as Florida.
Yes.
So like when it's 8 o'clock there, it's still sunny, but it's still sunny here. But it's like sunset there isn't until like 9:20.
It's because it's higher up and,
It's wild.
yeah, the
right?
elevation. Or not
So
elevation, but the.
we're at a bar. It's like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and we're like,
Yo,
where is
the-
everyone?
The sun was super weird.
It was super trippy.
Yeah, it was super weird. It
We're
was like
like-
8 o'clock in bright daylight. We're like,
We're like, where is everyone? They're like, oh, well, it's not really like late yet. I'm like, it's like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. Like it should at least be starting.
Right.
But like when I'm saying it was dead, there was like 5 people in a main bar, a pool bar with like 6 tables that were open. Like, and we're like, so like, when's it get? Now it's kind of making sense. Oh, they were probably all at the game,
Right.
but still, it's kind of like this is kind of weird. It
Yeah.
just
what
felt
was
weird.
super
I was like, this
weird-
is quiet.
and that's where we met the people I told them about the pick was at that bar. But what's super, super weird about that was, and I realized this as the city goes, it shifts at like 9:30. It goes from typical bar race fans, kind of typical sports fans, all that. At 9:30, once that sun has been down for about 30 minutes, it is straight nightclub. Every club switches, everything changes.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were pretty much done at that point.
So I wish I would have brought it down. I forgot it's in my backpack, but I'll tell the story. So we meet up with these guys at that pool bar place. Forget the name of it. Was that Kilroy's?
Brothers, no, we were at Brothers.
That was at Brothers.
That
That was
Kilroy's
cool.
didn't look fun. That
No, it
that
looked
didn't look
totally
good.
dead. So we went and we go to this other bar. And,
Saints. It was literally across the street. I knew it was Saints.
Yep. So we leave Brothers, we go to Saints, and we walk in and they say no backpacks allowed, and we're like, we haven't been
This
to
is
our
our whole
hotel.
life.
Our whole life is in this backpack. I need And they're like, well, I'll let you ask the manager. So I go in and I talk to the manager like, hey, you know, we're cool. We're not doing whatever. I just need a backpack. Like, you can look in it if you want. I don't care. Like, I got to have my backpack. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to come in if I can't have my backpack.
Right.
And she says, all right, you can put them there, but you better drink and you better have a good time. You know, like, you better spend money.
Yeah,
Like,
basically.
you know,
Like one of those.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, and then she sees Matt's shirt.
I was
and
wearing
she's
my
like,
Welcome
where-
to Rockville t-shirt from
Oh, okay.
Daytona. And she's like, you got alligators on your shirt. I was like, yes, I do. You know, I'm a
She's
little,
like,
I'm a
where are
little
you
buzzed.
from?
I'm like,
Are
yes,
you
I do.
from Florida? We're like, yeah, we're from Florida. She's like, all right, now
You gotta try this. I make a gator punch.
No, I want to try. It's like, you want
yeah,
to
she
come
was
in.
pretty- she was pretty-
You want me to watch my bag? You drink in my special drink.
Yeah, you gotta drink this special drink. It was like it was like a fruity, like
Yes, whatever you say.
what is it called? Like a rum runner.
Nah, not like a rum runner. It was
No,
like,
it was like
well, they
a-
called it. It's like in New Orleans, they call it like a hurricane or
Yeah,
something
a hurricane.
Like
Yeah,
Oh,
something like
okay,
that. It's a very
gotcha.
fruity, but it came in a little alligator sippy cup.
that. Oh yeah. So me and
It
Matt,
was so
we're
got
like,
this-
whatever. You're gonna watch our bags. That's fine.
Whatever. So we
That's
got these little
hilarious.
alligator sippy cups, and we're like drinking them through the night.
We're ridiculous. We're like sitting at the bar, like drinking out of a sippy cup.
And it was funny. We paid for it and everything. I was like, hey, thank you. Now keep an eye on those for us. And she's like, no, that's not my responsibility. I was like, this alligator, yes, this is what this means.
We have made a negotiation.
This is
that,
an unspoken agreement. You watch our bags, like just make sure.
No,
There
she
was-
let,
it wasn't one of those bars. Like we weren't really worried.
Yeah,
We were there for a while. We watched some of the Pacers. Yeah, the Pacers
Pacers.
games.
I didn't watch it.
Pacers and Celtics.
It was on. We were kind of watching it here and there. I think we watched them lose the 6-point lead they had
Yeah, I think
in
they lost it.
overtime. They lost it like right at the end by like 2 points. So everyone left. They were very sad. And at that point, we just kind of kept walking.
Well, we decided we were gonna walk around a little bit more, see if we couldn't find another spot.
It's like 10:30 at this point.
yeah, and then that's when we realized that everything at night had shifted. And we're
Gotcha.
like nightclub ain't our vibe.
Right.
So we're kind of like, I don't know. We kind of walk around a little bit, and then once nightclub vibe hit, there was nobody was letting in backpacks. So we were like, well, I
Yeah, it
guess
was like
we're-
cover charge, no
I guess we're
backpacks,
done.
Yeah,
don't come back,
that
stuff
makes
like
sense.
that. It was like very in and out, in and out. All right, so we're
And
like
at this point, we're feeling pretty good. So we're like, you know,
Uber.
if we get to the hotel, we can sleep a whole 3.5 hours. So we should,
my God.
we should
Perfect.
probably head to the hotel. So we order the Uber. I give Matt the address,
Thank you.
the correct address,
No,
probably.
no,
Maybe.
you gave me an address.
I gave you an
can tell you what
address.
you did. You Googled the hotel. You found the first option, and you clicked that one,
Well, who knew they were going to put 2 within 3 miles?
Indianapolis.
So what you're saying is you went to the wrong hotel.
So we went
Yes.
we got in the Uber, drove there. Everything's fine. We walk in. We're like, hey, we're here to check in for Jacob, and they're like, we don't got it. And we're like, what? We don't have it. We're
I'm like, what do you mean? I
Here's
have the confirmation.
He's like, oh, that's for our sister one down the road. It's about a mile and a half. And we're like, okay.
Like, who builds 2 of the same hotel?
That is
from
a
each other?
little.
on like the
Oh,
same
there's
road,
another
just
one.
one's
In,
deeper.
in downtown, there was a Taco Bell on the street, and then if you go up to the second floor of like this mall area, there's another Taco Bell right there. There was a lot of that, like multiple things on like the same corner. I'm like, what are we doing?
It didn't make a lot of sense.
That is a
and then
little
there was
strange.
nothing on other portions of the city. So it's kind of weird.
Weird.
So anyway, here we are, 11 o'clock at night with a 1.5 mile walk over to our hotel room. Thank God it wasn't raining, but it was cold. We were tired. We were starting to sobering up. Like we were
nobody around us. We're like, this is
little sketch, but we were walking through like other hotels. So it's like multiple hotels in a row, and we just
Gotcha.
had to get to the end. So we finally got there, checked in, all was good. Room was fine, passed out for the time being. And then 3 o'clock shows up.
no. You're forgetting them. Well, I guess you slept good. I slept
I was out.
so bad. That bed was so uncomfortable to me. I slept 2 hours tops, and none of it consistent. I
Oh, I
woke
was
up
shivering.
every
I turned up
15 to 30 minutes.
I turned up the AC. I couldn't do it.
Oh
I was
yeah, we
shivering.
get in the hotel room. It's set to 60, and it's hot.
Yeah.
So I just go over there. I'm like, switch fan to high. Hopefully this will make it better.
Oh, it
An
worked.
hour later, we were freezing. The thinnest little blanket. Like, oh, another thing. They got our hotel room wrong. I ordered a queen bed. That's all, or a king bed. That's all we could get. I could not get 2 queens.
Everything
or
sold
whatever.
out.
So I got us a king bed.
Built a pillow barrier.
No. But we get to the hotel. You know what it is? It's a queen bed.
Yep.
So like me and Matt just gonna snuggle right up next to each other. I
It's only
guess.
4 hours. You'll be all right.
His foot crossed my side a couple times.
You were dreaming of it.
Nope. I wasn't sleeping, so I don't think so.
So anyway, got up 4 o'clock, came so quick.
We got up at 3:30.
3:30 came so quick.
That hurt.
We woke up. I was like, Jake, I think I'm still buzzed. He's like, oh yeah, no, you definitely are. I'm like, okay. So now it's time to walk. No Ubers. There's no Lyfts.
Hold on. It's the beginning of the day. Did you start it in the traditional manner?
No, DJ.
What do you mean? No.
So
no.
Indy has rules. Can't
I
buy
know.
anything after like 8 o'clock. And all the bars close at 12.
And
so
you
even the
can't
party
walk
that
around,
we were
like,
having.
Orlando, you can't walk around like open container
Right,
or
right.
whatever. Can't
Yeah,
do that.
so even like the party everyone was having at 11 o'clock, it all had to end at 12. So they had like a one hour shebang of nightclubs. That's what the locals were telling me. They're like, yeah, everything closes at 12.
So they close down. They don't just say, "Hey, like
Last call,
last
12
caller."
o'clock.
So wow.
done.
Okay.
Here in Orlando, it's at least like
It's
2.
like 2. Yeah.
2
or
2:30,
3
which-
even.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think so.
So anyway, get ready, pack up our bags. We're dog exhausted. We're like, at least we're gonna go get a nice breakfast
Time for the next curveball.
at Waffle House, right? We know what we're getting. It's Waffle House.
Yeah.
But it's nice. It's American standard food. We walk all the way there, the same walk, and we're
20-minute walk.
we're like, this is a lot longer than last night. For whatever reason, this walk like took 3 times as long.
Oh no.
Right? We get there, nothing was open.
No indoor dining.
No indoor dining till 6, and
We're
it's
like,
4:30.
What is happening?
Right? And we're like, man, I gotta go to the bathroom. Oh, there it is.
Oh,
yeah.
We
For
have
our YouTube friends, these are the alligator cups.
Alligator cup.
So we were drinking a hurricane out of this.
I'm not gonna lie. If I ever go there, I am going and getting one of those.
that is the reason our backpacks didn't get stolen.
This guy right here.
This trip could have been a lot worse.
It's good.
So we get there, right? And you could not order at the window. You had to order online.
Oh my gosh.
Don't know why. These are some rules. This
so many
happened
things.
several times to us,
Yes.
right?
The most inconvenient place to get food.
Yes.
Yes.
Order on the app. So we're sitting out there at 4 a.m. downloading an app to order food to have something before the race. We go to the gas station, like, there's a gas station right next door. We'll at least get, a cup of coffee on the go, hit the
Or
bathroom.
something. Yeah.
Bathrooms didn't open until 5:30 at the gas station.
My
I was
Bro, we're both over there like, we have to go.
I just
And this guy, this other guy goes like behind the dumpsters, does his thing, comes out, he's like, don't worry. Brandon, we've never even talked to this guy. He just comes out, don't worry, I checked, there's no raccoons. It's good to take a leak back there. We're like,
okay,
what?
bud. And he hopped back in
checked.
his Cadillac and left. I was whatever. So everything's done, and I saw there was a Red Roof Inn behind it. I was like, you know what? We're going to a Red Roof Inn to eat our breakfast. And we took our to-go Waffle House over to Red Roof Inn, sat in the lobby. Nobody was there, and we're just eating our Waffle House. And they had a bathroom, so we got to use the bathroom there. And at that point, it was time to order the Uber to head over to.
Well, no,
Indy.
remember we had to order the day before.
Oh yeah.
So thank God our Uber driver on the way to the hotel gave us the best piece of advice. He said, if you want an Uber for tomorrow, you better order it today. And so we get on there from 7 o'clock on, it's blacked out. You can't even get it. So
Oh,
I was
right.
like, well,
Yeah.
thank goodness we're going to the track early, so we were able to set it up for 5:30.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they were totally booked from 7 to 2 o'clock.
So we hop in the Uber with this guy going to the track, and we asked him, we're like, hey, we're going to have to Uber out of here and go to the airport. Any recommendations? He's like, go as far away from the track as you possibly can before you order anything.
Yep.
All right, fair enough. We'll leave it at that.
And Uber from the track was over $100.
Really?
Yeah.
4 hour wait.
Oh, it's probably the demand.
$100, 4-hour wait.
Jeez.
Yeah,
if
it
you
was
wanted
crazy.
to be picked up right in front of it. He's like, nah. You want to walk a good hour,
Yeah, I was gonna say a
find
while.
an open road, an open intersection where they can come in and go out. That's what you want to do. They close everything around the track. It's all one lane.
It's all egress, no ingress.
Yep.
Mm.
You cannot come in. You can only go out.
We'll go into that.
Yeah.
So we get to the track at 5:45 because
It's all
me
about
and
the
Matt.
girls.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, I'll get there. Yeah. So we get there at 5:45 because me and Matt said if we're gonna go and we're gonna do it, we have to do the whole thing. Like we
Oh,
got to
yeah,
be there
yeah.
for the cannon shots and the fireworks. Of
course.
have to be. Right? You can't come all this way and not be there. That's the whole reason of getting up at 5:30 so we can watch cannon shots and fireworks. The race, we know the race was gonna be delayed. We just probably showed up later, but
We would have
so
had Uber.
we get there, we're just standing in
That's
line,
true.
and we look over, and this is a group of like 6 girls, 6 women, like a couple moms, obviously like their daughters and stuff, older daughters, and like a
College
group of like
kids.
just 6 women, not with any guys, not with anything, just 6 women there, and they are all pounding a fifth of whiskey.
Oh dang!
It might have been rum. It was some brown liquor.
Chugging it.
5:45 in the morning, just sitting there, just ripping this bottle, and it was halfway gone before the gates even opened. It was
like,
like,
yo.
what in the world?
We're being out partied.
Like, me and
like
Matt
at
were like,
that point, I
Jen,
knew
were
we
you
were
there?
in trouble.
Me and Matt still trying to
that Jen?
rehydrate from the night before. We're like, that's a little rough. Like, oh my goodness. And then what
That's
was
some
super
pregame
cool,
right there.
I'll go into this, right? So me and Matt are obviously, if you don't know, we're huge Metallica fans. Love seeing Metallica. And what Metallica does for every time they open a set is they play a song called The Ecstasy of Gold, which is just like an awesome, epic moment. So at like 5:57, they start playing The Ecstasy of Gold over the PA. And you're like, this is the perfect hype song. And then as soon as it's like, da, da, and like playing the whole thing, it's all over the PA. Everybody can hear it. You can tangibly feel the excitement of everybody, because at that point you would think, oh, there's not that many people there. Thousands of people are there for opening ceremony.
Yeah.
Thousands.
Insane.
At what time is this? 5:45, 5:50.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yes, in droves, and the sun is just starting to put a little color in the sky. It's
Hold-
not the
hold
sun
on.
is not up.
Kuzman, a little different crowd than Monaco. It sounds like
Yeah,
a
probably.
little bit.
Maybe? I don't
No,
know.
there's no, it ain't no yachts over here.
Ain't no yachts and ain't no champagne.
I mean, there are some really high
Actually,
class
there
people
was
too.
champagne, I'll tell you about.
There probably was actually.
So they do the cannon shots and the fireworks. I mean, that was cool, man.
That was
like
really
the
cool.
ecstasy of gold.
You
made
couldn't
it,
see the fireworks, but you could hear them like going off. It must have been for whoever's in the, I don't know,
And then
infield or whatever.
as
Jimmy
soon as the
Johnson had a
cannon, the
funny story
fireworks-
about that. They were interviewing him because I guess he was like, he was there for some of the broadcasts at the beginning and everything. And he was like, he's like, I was woken up to cannons going off in my RV. He's like, I didn't know that was a thing. He's like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that was fun. And then just like, you're immediately treated, because like as soon as the cannons finish going off and the fireworks, the music is on, the energy is on, like everything is up,
It's
like
go
the
time.
track is all lit up, like it is such a spectacle. And then everything is so clean. The grass is perfect and trimmed. Like it is the cleanest, nicest facility I've ever seen in my life.
that's wild.
It is incredible. And then it was so cool because like the guy in front of us gave us a really good piece of advice.
Been
He
there for
said,
30 years, and we're like, hey,
what do we do? Where do we go? We don't know where to go. We just knew to be here at opening ceremonies. Where do we go? And he said, go first thing, if you get here early enough like you are, he's like, you can go to the infield because all your tickets include infield pass.
Oh, okay.
amazing.
That's cool.
I'm
Don't-
a little salty about
Yeah, I was
NASCAR
gonna
on this
say
one.
that would be nice.
And he said if you're part of the early crowd, there's a different route that you can go and you get to walk across the track.
yeah.
Oh,
So that was dope.
Yeah.
Like that was really cool.
where do you walk across?
Right at pit exit.
Okay.
So
In-
there's an
into
open
turn
gate,
one.
pit exit.
Gotcha.
You kind of like scoot right on in, right at the end
But
of
we're there early, so there's thousands of people, but the facility's huge, so everybody's going to where they want. So it was almost like me, Matt, and a couple people. It felt like you almost had the track to yourself.
Yeah.
That's
With
take
the
some
sun
cool photo.
coming up, it was like
Twilight right over the, what is it,
Bro.
pergola? What's
Pagoda.
it called? Pagoda. The pagoda. It doesn't sound right. So it's like
pergola does not
Twilight over the pagoda, right? And it's like they actually have scoring towers.
scoring
Oh,
pylon.
Yeah, we're
believe
not
it or
used to
not.
that as NASCAR fans, but they have a scoring tower there. So that's really cool. And everything was just lit up, big Indy 500, 108th running. Everything was just perfect. Like they spent hours before we even were let in to prep the track.
Oh, they were there. There's no doubt. There was crews there all night making sure all the little details
Had
were
to.
done.
and almost. You said there was nothing going on Saturday at the track?
A few things like
So-
autograph
Signings and stuff like
sessions.
So
and
then
stuff like
that means that they were probably all day had crews on their Saturday,
Oh,
yeah.
prepping it, getting ready.
There's no doubt you could tell when we got there at 5:30. I mean, there was already a army working.
Yeah,
That's
And then
awesome.
I'm telling you, like, how many concerts have we been to and they opened the gate late?
quite a few.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
but this was 6 o'clock. As soon as the cannons, ba, 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 ba,
And
gates open.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like, the level of just professionalism and just cleanliness and just being on time and just everything was just the absolute top notch.
So what you're saying is Roger Penske should buy NASCAR?
he can't have a racing team at that point.
I mean, He owns IndyCar and has
Yeah,
a team.
I know. Well, there's a whole thing going on about that right now.
Still.
But so we get there. You're allowed to walk wherever you
Oh,
want.
hey, 5:30. Merch trailers were open. I bought my shirt.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
100%. So we get there early in the morning. We're kind of walking through like the legacy club stuff. You know, like the club rooms. We weren't going in, but you could walk on the balconies.
Oh,
we
yeah.
kind of,
Like,
we kind
look
of,
in.
we kind of snuck in a little bit.
No, you could
but-
walk up there. They had people up there all the whole time.
No, we found the one staircase with nobody watching it.
Oh, okay. Maybe we broke the rules. Anyway, we were like looking
Matt
at
didn't know, but I knew what I was looking for. I
and
was looking
right
for the
where-
staircase because they had people checking tickets on every staircase, and I found one with nobody. I'm like, here we
Let's go.
That's one thing that I think Indy could do better is wristbands. Having your ticket always
like a-
on you, that was
Yeah, it's
like
kinda
really
annoying.
kind of weird. Like, we'll talk about it a little bit more, but basically anytime you left the seating area and like went to go get beverages or something, you had to show them you were leaving and then show it.
Oh,
They didn't
yeah.
scan it, but they had to like look at your number to make sure you're in the right area.
Yep.
There was no jumping.
No.
that's tough.
So it's kind of weird. I mean, I get it, like NASCAR, if you're going to like the Tri-Oval Club or, you know, some kind of suite, I get that. But like
This was every section.
every section.
But you also
had
got.
people
I mean,
sitting
you also
there.
figured 300,000 people.
Yeah, I
Versus
get it.
average NASCAR is what 50,
Yeah.
60.
50 to 100.
Yeah.
So we're walking around seeing everything, and they have this really cool merch area.
Matt is all about this merch area.
It's cool because it's like it's in the garages, and it's like 4 or 5 garages deep, and you just walk through it, kind of like going to Disney World. How you walk in one like section, and you can walk all the way through the building, and it's
Yeah.
all different. Like it was like that. So like your first one was all like your jackets and your hoodies and
Yeah, it was
stuff.
like apparel and then specific race day stuff and then novelties like diecast.
yeah,
and,
like
that's
legend
cool.
stuff.
Okay.
you know, Speedway
diecast.
Boulevard time.
Yeah,
they
so that
have,
was
like,
at the
sections.
So they had like 3 or 4 sections, and that was really cool. And me and Jake were walking through, and we randomly got stopped by a like employee who was working there. And she's like, I watch your guys' podcast. I see you guys on YouTube. It's really cool you're here. She's like working, so she was like rushing. She's like, it's really cool seeing you guys. We're like, all right, cool. That's
I was like in
awesome."
shock. I was like,
We're not wearing
check in. I was like, we're
anything.
not wearing any
No,
here for the speed. Like, what in the world?
nothing. So I don't know. That's like the first time. I don't know.
That's
It's the first
wild.
time for me that I've been like called out like in public, and I'm like,
Remember
hey.
the Bristol guy? I guess that one.
Yeah,
the
a little
Bristol
bit.
one.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was pretty fun.
So that was cool.
That's awesome.
just
That's
by our
cool.
faces, not by our
And
merch.
that's-
or
Yeah, just
anything.
by her faces.
even wilder
So she's
to
probably
me
on
because-
YouTube if she's watching. That was awesome. Thank you.
it's even wild just because like that's not a NASCAR event either.
Exactly.
It's
No.
an Indy event. So
Exactly.
She said she was from Daytona, right?
She either works at Daytona
Or
where
lives-
she's from.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess the
I
same.
can't remember. She
right?
said she worked there or was from there, but yeah.
So either way, NASCAR
Look, dang.
watches.
So
our
if you listen to
podcast.
this, you need to hit us up. We'll hang out again at Daytona.
Yeah, that would be cool.
We'll be there.
Yep.
Like 90 something days.
Yes.
but
Yes, yes.
no one's counting.
So anyway, we got out of that. Took a whole
It was
bunch of
100 like
photos.
a week ago. So
And we were pretty much right at like I guess what you consider the midway.
yeah.
There, right? It's
Fan
a
zone,
smaller
fan
fan
zone.
zone, midway.
So
Kind
they
of where all
kind of
the
like NASCAR
sponsors
kind
are.
of has like a fan zone, like an infield section, and then they have the outdoor merchandise. They combine all this to the infield.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no camping on the inside, so they have plenty of space. There's
Really?
a golf course,
All the camping's outside.
snake pit in turn 4 or turn 3, and then like all general admission in turn 3 and 4 for the hill, and then you have like right behind the pagoda, you have the midway for like I don't know what IndyCar called it, but midway, like if you know NASCAR. But what was so cool, which makes me so mad about NASCAR, I think our tickets were like $130. Not bad.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty
but
average.
we were like start finish line. You're right there.
It's very
for all-
average
You're
Daytona.
literally we
yeah,
have
that's not bad. At
the
all.
best view for opening ceremonies. We were very specific. If
We're
we
right
couldn't
there.
sit turn 1, we want to sit start finish. So that's where we sat because turn 1 is impossible. Forget about it. You have to get turn 1 tickets. You got to be a 20-year renewal.
yeah.
You got to
Oh,
get
jeez.
that kind of level of priority in the renewal.
Which
to get
makes
turn
sense
1.
because there's people that go and have been going for 60.
We met
70
people that have
years.
been going since the what they say the 70s, the
Yeah.
60s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
that's
just
60
casual
years.
fans are like, yeah, I've gone every day since, or I've gone every year since 2005. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's crazy,
Like,
man.
you call yourself a casual? Like, you're a
And then they're
diehard,
like-
brother.
There's people that pick up the renewal from their parents and
Yeah.
pass the renewal down. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
It's wild. So, one thing I did notice, the amount of like diversity between ages at this race. You had families with kids. I saw infants there. I saw college kids. I saw the diehard veterans who have been going there for 80 years. Everyone was there. It was not specific
what they were
at all in
saying.
any, but they catered to every specific age group too.
There's
they
everything
had
for
stuff
everybody.
for kids. They had bumper cars in the midfield or the little hover things that you.
Oh
hit.
yeah.
They had stuff like that. They had, I don't know, 50 race sims. You
Oh,
could
I mean,
jump
there
in
was
at
a
any.
race sim everywhere.
There was 4 or 5 race sims at every single tent where you could hop in and run the Indy 500 on a sim.
and prizes for whoever got best lap.
Yes,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
like
How
good
many-
prizes.
How many did you try?
We actually didn't, to
We
be
didn't-
honest.
I don't want Matt. I tried to get Matt to do it, but he said
No,
no.
He was scared. It was the
Matt
road
was
course.
scared, bro.
He was scared.
Oh my
I would-
God, you can't even make a lap around the oval.
I try. Listen, everyone knows I can't.
I
but if
did
you
ask
can't,
Matt if he wanted to do it, and he was like, "No." And I was like, "What? You scared I'm gonna beat you?" He's like, "I guess."
I was a little hungover. All right. I felt like it was
Why?
irresponsible.
Why were they
Matt,
doing?
Matt was in rough shapes.
Why were they doing the road course though?
I was trying to
Just
get
some of them had the
I
road.
was
The
trying to-
one I was looking at, and we were looking at, they were also a whole bunch. It wasn't like iRacing either. It was like there was some. I think
looked
some
like
old
Forza.
games, like Forza games.
Looked
There was
like
a whole bunch
Oh.
of different ones.
I think it was Forza did do a lot at the Indy road course. That makes sense.
Yeah, so there was a lot of different stuff. But anyway, they had a ton of cool stuff that way. So they catered to every fan group. They had
Tatered.
They had a whole bunch of live
Put that
music
Miller
and
away.
party stuff for the kids or for the young adults. All the old people were in the grandstands, but that made sense.
Before we get sidetracked, basically what I'm saying is, if you buy your ticket, your one grandstand ticket, you get access to all of this.
Everything.
Everything. You get access. You get your ticket. You get midway access. You get fan zone. You get opening ceremonies. You get if you want to buy a grandstand ticket and go party in turns 3 and 4, because we'll get there because it's wild. You can do that and then go back to the grandstand.
You could be next
you
to
can
the
do
celebrities.
everything. Oh,
and
there's
be
like
right
a
on
whole
like
celebrity
the red
carpet.
on the back. You could
You
just
can
camp
do
there.
all of this. The only extra things you have to buy is if you want to go to the EDM concert at the Snake Pit, you can do that. That's like $90. Not bad if
That's
that's your
not-
preference in music.
That's not awful.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's 50,000 people in this concert. Like it's
Insane.
bumping. And then Gasoline Alley pit passes. That's it. That's the only other thing you could buy.
That's it.
That's it. Everything else is included with your ticket. Even if you buy a $60 ticket for general admission infield, you get access to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can maybe try to sneak into the grandstands if you wanted to,
It
but
seemed hard.
yeah, it's hard. You got to
Listen,
find the
we-
right staircase
we
with
can
somebody
fandangle
distracted. but-
usually at like Daytona or something. We can keep an eye out and know where to go. No, there was no keeping an eye. Like
every entry point.
I walked into our spot probably 10 times, like going to the seat. The lady checked my ticket every time. I was like, you don't like recognize me?
After a while,
Like
yeah.
you don't like a black shirt with a 6 on it. Like you don't. No.
The only RFK fan here.
Yeah, basically.
probably.
No, just every time check the ticket. So it got to the point where it's like, oh, I need to go to the bathroom, and you walk halfway downstairs and you turn back around. Oh, I need to get my ticket out of my backpack. You go grab your ticket just in case.
I'd pretty much given up on the ticket lanyard. If I would go back, I'd want my ticket lanyard.
You'd have to. I get it.
But
So what did we do after that? We had 8 o'clock.
Well, we
right?
wandered for a while, and then we said, all right, let's head up to our seats. And right, isn't that what?
No. We met up. The
Guzman,
tweet up,
that
right?
seems to be the
Oh, yeah, I
case.
totally forgot. When we were downtown, and some of you have seen this if you follow our Twitter. When we were in downtown on Saturday night, I got to make sure we say the story. We ran into Dale Tanhart.
Yeah.
If you don't know who he is, he's a social media personality,
Legend.
like for
He's
NASCAR
not a personality.
stuff and stuff.
He's
Yeah.
a legend.
And we were just walking into a random bar. I'm like, it's you.
You did. You straight up. You looked right
I'm
over. You're
like-
like, it's you. He's like, it is me. Like he's
I'm
like,
like,
I
bro,
know.
we got to get a photo. Like, what are the odds that we just happen to be
It's not
crossing
hard.
paths?
If you're at a racing event and you see a guy in goggle glasses, like old
Yeah, he was
90
easy to
goggles,
spot when I
it's
saw
not
him.
hard to find him. But if you see it, it's probably him.
That's funny.
I don't think a lot of people are taking
No.
the idea.
No.
So that was funny. So, but anyways, what did we do after that?
The meetup.
The tweet up.
Yeah, the tweet up. Yeah, yeah.
Tweet up. Yeah.
So that
So we
was
did
cool.
do the tweet up. That was at what, 8?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was awesome. Oh my gosh! If you have
Okay.
never been to a tweet up, you gotta go.
Can you explain to me what is a tweet up? Because I
it's-
still don't
it's
understand
Jeff
it.
Gluck and Bob Pockris. So Bob Pockris, they typically do it together, but because Bob Pockris is in NASCAR this weekend for the Coke 600, Jeff Gluck was in the Indy 500. They split it,
Gotcha.
but they normally do it together. It's for any fans that are on
Does
Twitter
everyone
or
just
whatever.
like go on Twitter, like they all stand in
Like
a circle?
he'll
and
post it
tweet-
and he'll
tweet?
post a location, and then everybody goes and meets and they just talk and hang out for half
Oh,
hour.
okay.
There's
half
probably
hour
30
to an hour.
people that showed up. It
I-
was like
in
we
my
weren't the only
mind.
ones there.
In my mind, it was literally a bunch of people that go to an area on the track and they all just tweet each other.
No, it's
No, you
everybody
can ask
who's on
questions without
Twitter, and they
tweeting.
all
I
just
know.
go and hang out and talk. Man, I learned some juicy stuff. and we're gonna get into that later because I don't want to like totally derail this because this is like some of the stuff I learned is like
Oh, it's
Jeff Gluck was definitely sharing some good stuff.
some good news.
I would say, I mean, controversial.
It's going to be very controversial.
We'll
But
get there.
we'll get
We'll get
into
there.
it.
We'll
We'll
get
get
So we
there.
did the tweet up, and then we decided let's head up to our stand or up to our seats, and because opening ceremonies were kind of starting by that point, and we watched the opening ceremonies and
Is
different
this
stuff. and
before or
there's-
after the rain delay?
Before.
Before.
We're
Okay.
still before. So they have like different marching bands that march down the straightaway, and
Purdue was a very big
they
thing.
had a bunch of vintage racing cars. I mean, they were getting it.
Oh,
Tony
yeah.
Kanaan and his car that I think he won 1 year, and I missed a year, but he won the 500 there or whatever. Homeboy was getting it. I was like, yo, there's people standing on the front stretch. He's like, wow. I mean,
Oh, he
he's
was having
getting
fun.
it, bro. Like,
I mean, I
That's
trust
wild.
him.
I mean,
but all the vintage cars were super cool. We actually got to stand really close to some of the vintage cars while they're tuning them up in the,
Yeah,
in
it's
the
6 a.m.
garage area. Again, you got there early. They were just out there tuning them, and
that's
you
the
could
one
stand
thing.
right next to it.
That's
it was
the one
incredible.
thing about it, the Indy races I've been, or the Indy race I've been to, is that like when you go in like the paddock and like
Oh,
you,
there's-
it's you're right at the car, like you're right there.
Yeah,
it's,
you're right
It's
there.
kind
I
of like
would say the Indy 500 is very similar. If you got NASCAR hot passes,
yeah.
it would be very similar. Barricades are back off. You can't get up close. It's kind of very
Which
similar to NASCAR. Like when I
makes
saw
sense.
it, the way it was all set up, just like NASCAR. But these old vintage cars, dude, that was cool, man. I mean, like some of these cars, like this car is probably 100. I don't know enough about Indy to know, but I like this thing looks 100 years old.
They had like leather like belts holding down the
Oh,
hood.
the hood.
yeah,
It-
like around it.
It
I was
had a
like,
gas
that's
pedal
cool.
and a brake pedal, or a brake handle. Bro, old school. That was cool. And then everything, probably like a car, like close to every decade in between.
Right.
So it was cool.
So and then after that we got rained on.
Yeah. Well, we decided like, let's go look at our seats, and at that point, we watched some of the pre-race, and then here comes the rain.
Yep.
Yeah.
4-hour delay. We sat in the rain.
I didn't
And
think it was that bad.
Me
of a
and Matt
storm.
were like, what do we got to do to go to a race and not get rained on?
Yeah, right.
Daytona,
Well,
rain.
I like to point-
Talladega, all but rain.
I'd like to point out that
Bristol. Didn't it rain at Bristol? a little
Kyle
bit?
Larson was unable to
No.
do the double because of you guys.
Yeah, I
Like-
think it was because of him.
I think it's Kyle Larson.
You think so?
Yeah.
Hey, the convenience. Every time I'm at a track with him, it rains. See,
Facts.
there's
Good
a
point.
connection there, and now it follows him. So
Before back in the day, it used to never rain. Then when Kyle Larson joined Chip Ganassi,
game
ruined
over,
it.
man. Anywho, so it rained on us. I didn't
Hot
think it was
take.
that bad. It wasn't
Matt's
like
crazy. It was bad.
there was no thunder, there was
People-
no lightning. It
was
wasn't like
the
your
wind
Florida
was blowing
thunderstorm.
so hard it was ripping ponchos off of people.
They're
like-
fine.
Not that bad.
There's no
They're
lightning.
fine. Whatever.
So
You know what it is?
everything-
It's his Florida is showing. He's
So-
like, this isn't a hurricane. We're
So
fine.
The typical, please evacuate the grandstands.
Yeah.
Severe thunderstorms are in the area. Please evacuate to your safety shelter. And it's like, we don't have a car. We
yeah, we don't.
Ubered here. Like, what do we do? And nobody left. Besides like moving to not get rained on, everyone's staying in the grass. Says, what are you gonna do with over 300?
Well, remember we met those one guys. They're like, if they're really serious and they make the grandstands evacuate, he said, just go hide in a bathroom stall.
Yeah,
I was
just
like,
go
well,
hide.
if they make you evacuate the property, which if it is bad enough, they will.
Like,
He's like,
like
just-
the track back.
yeah, like
Yeah.
get out.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Get off our land.
Which I mean, what was coming at us was like really warranting that might happen. And basically, the best advice we got from a 20-year fan was hide in a bathroom stall.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because I was like, we don't have anywhere to go, and everything's closed. Like,
we
where
have
are we
no
gonna
car.
hide?
Where do we go? There's no hotel. Like, what
That's
do you do?
kind of okay.
So-
That's interesting.
It rained, and we all just kind of stayed up there. Like, I'm telling you, like, eyes deep. You could see just everyone was just still in the seats, and we're like, we're kind of hungry. Like, let's go see if there's any food open. We go downstairs, bro. You couldn't walk. It was
Nah, it's
so
crazy.
packed because all the people from the infield came in, flooded in
Mm.
to hide under the grandstands. It was bad. It was super packed. Puddles everywhere. Everyone was using like boxes for helmets and trying to get out of the rain. It was wild, and it just took a while to
Yeah,
clean up.
it was interesting. They rented track dryers from NASCAR to dry the track.
How'd they get them there so quick?
I don't know. They probably got them ahead of time, knowing what was coming.
No,
I mean,
what's
they
going
they
on?
probably had some time. I mean, what they probably get him from Chicago or no.
No, I mean, I imagine
From
NASCAR
NASCAR?
probably had. That's probably why we couldn't race on Sunday at the Coke 600.
That's probably why.
You know, that would be
Too much humidity. Sorry, we rented too many jet dryers.
It's Roger Penske's fault.
No, I
actually.
imagine NASCAR has a section of backup dryers that they can,
I saw
in case they have a couple go down. They can
there
make
was
sure
an
there's
old
enough.
Chevy S10 with a jet dryer on the back of it.
Not
driving
a jet
around.
dryer, it just had a sweeper.
It was a sweep. I thought it
Just
was like a
just
dryer.
like a giant broom.
It was
Bro,
really
it was
awkward.
like a 90s S10 with
Yeah.
a broom on the back.
Oh,
Like,
so while it was raining, this was also really funny. So the AMR guys were racing around the track while it was raining.
bro,
They were
I'm
going
telling
3
you.
wide across the start and finish, and then like the center guy would be like, he was probably hitting 120. He was
bro.
booking
They're
it.
like getting it in a Chevy Silverado, just getting it.
Yeah, with a track dryer on the back. Like this sucker's weighed down and he's hauling around this
Well, he's
track.
got plenty
And
of
then
grip.
the whole, you'd hear the crowd start cheering away at turn 4.
Oh, they were
And
about it.
everybody would come by like, yeah. I mean, and then every time everybody would cheer, he would just go like he probably started at 60, and everybody's just bored and whatever. So everybody's
Yeah.
cheering, and every time everybody cheered,
He
just
kept
kept
going
going
faster.
faster
And
and faster.
faster.
And then like the crew guys are like sticking their hands out the window, like
Yeah, they were like encouraging, like, "Hey, bring it on, bring it on!" Like
That's
it was just
hilarious.
bro,
fun.
it was like,
I mean,
the
what
heck
else
is
are they
going
going
on?
to do?
Yeah, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
you know, it was still lightly sprinkling, so they couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
But no, they got. Honestly, I think they got that track dry super quick.
Matt says it didn't rain that hard, but I'm telling you, it rained so hard. At one point from start finish line, you could not see turn 3 or turn 1 because of the rain.
You're delusional. You forgot what rain is.
Bro, that was
like a mist.
some rain.
Looked
just
like
because
fog.
just because I picked the perfect spot to keep us dry.
Dude, I don't know what it was. We did have the perfect seat. It did not. There was no leaks. Nothing about us.
You're welcome.
I would like to
They
point
weren't
out
our seats.
that
where
I
we're
will
supposed to
say
sit.
that I love the fact that their grandstands, like, are the vast majority there is like covered.
Yes,
Like that
it
is
was great.
that I'm like I don't know why NASCAR hasn't done more of this kind of stuff.
Because it's probably money.
I'm sure,
Yeah.
but still,
But so after that, then pre-race ceremony resumed.
Pretty standard.
They did driver intros from Victory Lane, which is cool. What else?
You couldn't see any cars on
They
track.
did.
They were so
what was it?
stormed.
What is it? At home, Indiana. What is it? Indiana.
back home in Indiana.
Back
Yeah.
home in Indiana.
Yeah.
That was cool. The best part of that was they sang the song, and I mean everybody in the crowd sings it.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah, that was cool. And then right when he ends the last note, the Thunderbirds come over
Oh, that was yeah.
and
That
do
was
like their
cool.
big
They
thing.
split. Yeah.
From the middle of the backstretch over the pagoda. It was like that's
How
pretty
how
cool.
was the view for that? Because obviously with like the
For
cover
us,
over
not
top.
great.
Yeah, I can't imagine it was.
we
saw
were
it for a
back
little bit.
enough behind back? Yeah, I mean it was okay. It was okay.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
okay. Like for like all the skydivers and all the people paired, like I
Yeah.
couldn't see any of it. But it was fine. It was what it was.
I told Matt my favorite part of the pre-race because this is where we're at now in the storyline. My favorite part of the pre-race was Roger Penske's speech.
I thought
He
that
comes
was good.
out, gives the speech, and then he does the command. I love that since he's bought it, he does the command every year. Like, yo, this is my place. I bought it. Screw off. I'm doing it. Like,
I mean-
there's no ceremonial, grand marshal. No, it's Roger Penske, and it's like once like you sit in the rain for a while, you kind of get you're just kind of
Yeah.
bored, kind of like, all right, there's driver intros. That's cool. When he did that speech, I was like, okay, I'm hyped. Let's go. Like I'm
Yeah, we're
ready.
back.
Okay,
You know?
another thing I wanted to ask you guys about. So, I don't know about you guys, but obviously being Memorial Day, they did a lot of, salutes to veterans and different service members, stuff like that. It sounded like, to me, it sounded like when they were doing taps, that it was the sound sounded amazing, at least on TV.
It was absolutely silent.
Was
And
did,
tap
perfect.
sounded incredible.
was it like echoing all through there?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, I just imagine.
I mean,
it
a
was-
little bit like a stadium would, but not bad.
Really? Because it sounded on TV even. I'm just like, man, to hear that there, it was giving me
Bro,
goosebumps watching it.
I'm trying to tell you the amount of TV screens and speakers they have set up. It is the perfect race facility. Like they have enough speakers where you're not getting a weird echo and delay.
Right.
There's one every like 20 feet. So you
What the
have
heck?
premium sound the entire time.
I mean, I understand why they're putting so much money into this
I'll
place.
do-
They got enough people coming.
I'll bring it up even better. On the infield, when you're on the infield,
Bro.
like just the infield campers, there's a TV about every 30 feet
On the fence.
on the fence, like a 60-inch
Oh,
LED
geez.
TV,
Bro.
and on the fence. not in the view because you're up on a hill that's over the fence. But if you want to watch the race, you look down. You can
So you
watch
watch
the whole
you
race,
watch the cars, wah, and then you watch the screen.
and it goes
Dude,
follows right with them.
in everywhere, not one spot.
They probably had
Turn
500
3,
TVs.
turn 4, all over the infield, everywhere,
Jeez.
bro. It was incredible.
You couldn't
If
go
you sit
anywhere
on the
without
pit
finding a
road
TV.
side of the grandstands, there's screens on the outside grandstand, so you can see. It's incredible, bro.
That's awesome.
Dude, I'm telling you, it is the greatest sports facility I've ever been to.
Yeah, hands
Not
down.
even close. Daytona is a good second, but it is by far the best.
Daytona's got some good things, but there's certain things that this
Another level.
yeah, it's just a whole nother. For instance, their concession stand. They're not trying to do anything crazy.
Oh,
But
they figured this out.
They figured it out. There's no ordering. There's no person there. It's all self checkout, and it's just they make it, throw it down. You pick up what you want, grab your drink out of the cooler, scan it, walk out. It's
serving
300,000 people.
serving 20 people every 15, 20 seconds.
Yeah,
Jeez, so
they
about
had
a person a
burgers,
second.
dogs, nachos, pizzas, everything. Just 50 back. You want 4 hot dogs?
Barbecue
Grab 4.
sandwiches, like all kind of
Everything.
wide variety.
You're not
You got
talking
sodas,
to anyone cooking. They're just
water,
cooking it and
alcoholic
throwing it out,
beverages.
cooking it, throwing it out, filling up the fridge from the back. Just it's like walking through a gas station, but it's just one sweep.
That's awesome.
Nobody
We
was hungry.
We were in there with 40, 50 other people.
Yeah,
Waiting in line for nothing. No waiting line.
in and out. It's just
Yeah.
it's like why is
Stuff
that
like
not
that
everywhere?
is like
Why do
they
I
figured
still
it out.
have to walk up
Yeah.
and order? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like have it a streamline where you go through just like you're like going
Yeah.
to like an amusement park and you walk through the line and then you order. Just grab what you want, self checkout, credit card, pay out.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So let's see, I guess we get to the race.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome. I mean, we both had our radios. We pretty much listened to Kyle Larson the whole time. Switched to NBC broadcast occasionally. It was an awesome race. I mean, they were
Race was good.
It was a
fast.
good
Oh my
race.
God,
there
they're
was
fast.
there was a lot of blown engines from Honda. I don't
There
know
was.
what was going on with Honda, but yeah, no, it was apparent Honda was having a lot of issues.
They talked about it on the broadcast. They were like, if you're a Honda, you're getting very nervous right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
every
yeah.
car was having trouble. Whether
Yeah.
it was even just a little smoke and they had to pit again and fix it. No, every car had trouble. That was like Honda. I was like, well, guess this is Chevy's day. Like I don't know what to tell you at that point. The cars were fast. The weirdest thing that I think me and Jake experienced was you go to a cup race, you got the vortex, you got the gust of wind. There's none of that there. There's no wind coming off these
that
cars.
would make sense because they don't have as much drag.
Not at all.
I guess, yeah.
I don't know what
Well,
it is.
It was kind of it was a little bit of a letdown. I don't really want to say this, but I will. But we talked to these one guys, and I was like, hey, like how loud is it? Because they had been to cup races and stuff. Like, where does it compare? Like, oh my God, bro, it's so loud. Da, 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 da. I was like, what about the wind? Does it have the wind factor like a cup race? Oh yeah. We get there. I'm like,
We're fairly,
I mean, it's loud. It's 95 decibels. You should definitely wear earplugs.
you know, it's high pitch and wah, 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 wah,
And
you know,
but there's no wind. And I was kind of looking at Matt. I'm like, yeah, just don't really have anything on NASCAR Cup racing.
But
like,
and
you
I
know.
told Jake, I was like, well, it kind of makes sense because like when you're watching, I don't want to compare them too much, but like what race was it
I
where
think Jake's chair is squeaking.
Oh, sorry.
where the Chevy was built and they ran it in IMSA? All those IMSA cars were quiet.
Oh yeah,
High
yeah,
efficiency, very quiet, quieter. And then you just had the V8 Camaro.
I'm glad you said that.
And I'm like,
I would say it's very comparable to going to an IMSA sports race.
see, you've been to the
And if-
Rolex a little bit more
Yes,
than I have.
Yes. So if that is your comparison, yes, it's loud. But if you've been to NASCAR Cup race the
You go to
last couple
Bristol?
of years, oh
Forget
my
about
God,
it.
Bristol
I bet Martinsville's
was
just
stupid.
as loud. So it's just one of those things. It's just perspective.
Yeah.
Another thing, driver intros, not a single driver was booed. Everyone got
That was
almost
incredible.
a standing ovation. Didn't matter if they were last.
No booze.
Rookie.
Literally zero booze.
You couldn't boo.
You
Everyone was
either
so
stayed
excited
silent
and
or
so
clap for people
happy.
you like.
Yeah.
Everyone was so happy and so excited for this race. There was no booing. There was no negative attitude at this race.
It's wild.
When obviously cup races are a little different.
There's at least
You know,
half
Denny
of the
Hamlin
field.
gets told he's the 11 driver a lot.
Now that you're saying that, like, okay, like when they do like gentlemen start your engines, and then you get like a medium cheer. Everybody's kind of
Yeah.
like, woo, all right, let's go, bro. They went freaking insane. The entire
Different
crowd.
level.
Ah, yeah. I mean, like, in freaking insane.
That's awesome.
It was unbelievable. I was like, yo, these
And
people
then-
are hype, bro. And they're like making me hype. I'm like, yo, like, I'm gonna start cheering like this for Grand Marshal, Gentlemen Start Your Engines.
So we know
like,
how
let's go.
we know how they start the race, right? They have 3 wide on what is
Right.
it called? Standing start.
Well, that was a rolling start, but they start from the track
grid,
3
a
wide.
grid.
Yeah,
Well, when they take off, they just all burn out and take off.
trying
From
to warm
their-
up the rear tires.
Trying to warm. There's still people on the
Bro,
racetrack,
everywhere. I was like,
like on the wall, and I'm like, what is going on? Like,
That is kinda-
and I mean, by the time the guys in the back are getting down to turn 1, I mean, there's people everywhere. They're almost 100 miles an hour.
yes.
Bro,
And they all just grabbed
Hey.
their what are their generator packs, whatever they had, and they just rolled them off.
Yeah, 'cause
but
what
they
was
were there
crazy
standing
is
on the field.
by the time they roll off, the pit road is completely clear.
Yeah, you're good.
And then by the time they come
weird,
around,
man.
and then they're doing like, I don't know what their pace laps are, like 80 to 100 miles an hour. It looked fast. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's crazy that they had that entire pit road clear, ready to go. Like, I don't know. Like, if you saw it and you saw how much stuff was there,
And then,
and then how fast they came back, you're like,
All right, this is different.
y'all cleared that thing quick.
Yeah.
So I mean, the race. What was it?
I mean,
lap
to be
one,
fair,
there was
that is a
huge
pretty
wreck.
narrow pit road too.
Well, this was the racetrack.
Oh, you're talking
This
about the
is
race.
on
Yeah,
the
they were
racetrack
on the
because they
racetrack.
take off from the racetrack.
Gotcha. Okay.
So there was that. What was that wreck? There was a wreck in like lap 1, right?
Lap one.
Yeah.
Lap 1. There was like 4
In
car
turn
power.
one.
Just to back up real quick, it is different. Like, you know, like when they did the starting engines, it was kind of like wah, wah, and then they kind of idled down. It was like kind of quiet. Yeah, I kind of did miss like that, like at a NASCAR race, just for comparison. They
The
fire
chug,
up
the
and like you just hear you feel that rumble, like when you're at like a NASCAR. If you're
Yeah.
close to pit road, you know, like if you're sitting way in turn 1 or 2, then probably not. But you know, if you're close, like near pit road, you're like, yo, you know, you just feel it like in your chest differently.
Yeah. Well, you remember when we went to Atlanta that one time, and I think it was the COVID year or the year right
That's
after
every
COVID.
super speedway now.
Yeah, I know, but it, like, remember Jeff
I know what you're about to
Foxworthy?
say.
Jeff Foxworthy was doing his like warm up thing for the crowd or whatever. He was talking and stuff like that, and they were doing engine tests. Like they were like
Oh, they were
idling-
warming the engine.
warming them
Oh,
up.
I thought you were gonna say something else, but I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
and so like he's like, how the heck am I supposed to do this when there's that going on? Ain't no one listening to me right now.
Yeah, no,
And-
you could 100% do that at Indy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's just that's weird.
The
Yeah.
one thing that's funny, I thought you were gonna say this, but I'll say it. What's funny about NASCAR races, they all fire up for TV and the
And then
commands,
shut down.
and they all shut it down. At Talladega was hilarious. They all fired up and then just shut it down, like silence.
Done.
We're not running our engine. No, we don't want to burn the fuel.
So, yeah,
There was
big-
none of that at the 500. They pretty much fired up and rolled.
That's
So,
cool.
Big wreck. Lap 1 knocked out what 4 guys?
Two or
Three.
I think Erickson was in it.
3 drivers. There was a 4th driver that did go out, but it was for an unrelated
Yeah.
something.
Well,
I think
again,
it
a
was
little
the-
hard to see on our side. We tried our best with the broadcast and listening to Larson. In all honesty, that first 60 laps, Larson was
He was hurting.
on a wire. He's like, I don't understand. How am I not taking off? His first question, where do we restart? And they're like, oh, yeah, we should have probably went over that. He's like, where's the line? He's like, there's not really a line. It's just kind of a best judgment kind of thing. I'm
Yeah.
like,
They said,
'Cause
that, they said the pace car will go off and it's the leader's discretion from the entry of turn 4 to the end of turn 4.
That is a long time.
bro, yeah, yeah.
He's
You
kinda
tell
like,
Larson.
I was
All
gonna say,
right.
'cause he
Went from 6th to like 18th, real quick.
It was like in one lap.
He
yeah,
was
it was
super
bad.
frustrated. So
well,
like,
that wasn't the initial. That was the second restart.
it was something like that. Yeah.
Well, he dropped his several spots on the first one too.
Yeah,
and
he
then
did.
I
Oh,
think
did he?
felt. I think he
big
dropped
one,
like
it
3
might
or
have been
4.
the first restart, but the big one was he double shifted.
Yes, he did.
he double shifted. I mean, he was getting eaten up. Everyone knew he was a rookie.
Yeah.
You know, he was getting eaten up
And
out
he
there.
even, I guess they said on the broadcast, they were talking, they're like, the one thing Kyle Larson said that he was nervous about was restarts, because you can practice running, you can practice driving, but they don't practice restarts.
Right.
So like that was the one thing he was
he
like
was stressing.
most.
You could tell. You
most
could tell
nervous
that he
about.
wasn't like he wasn't like cursing or anything like that, but you could tell like, what am I doing wrong? I don't understand. And they're like, all right,
You
no
could
problem.
hear the
Take
the
it back
lack
a minute.
of confidence.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could tell, oh, I'm not in something I'm used to.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you could tell. But, honestly, once he got through it, after those first few, and there was a lot of caution, so he got used to it real quick.
Yeah.
He figured that out. He
I would
figured it
say
out
by
really
lap
well.
75, he was a completely different driver than where he started.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, if you figure Kyle Larson is known for being adaptable, it makes sense that, after a couple of repetitions, it's like, okay, I kind of got my footing now. Kind of done this once or twice. You figure he'll start figuring it out.
Yeah.
And that's when he started climbing through the field and actually did start making his way back up to sixth.
Yeah,
Or fifth or wherever
he got really close, and in between all this, there was like the Honda issues,
Yep.
and cars and spinning out, and the pit cycles. Those were stressful.
Really?
All those, it might not look that stressful on TV. No, it was stressful.
Yeah,
it
it
was
was crazy.
really stressful because
during
you knew how
pit
fast
stops,
those cars could
during
go.
even during caution, during a pit stop, everybody stands. It's that intense.
Really?
Yes, yes, it was
That's wild.
wild because pit stops are fairly quick there.
Yeah.
They don't have to worry about running the tires back to the wall. You just change it and leave it there, and then you're
Yeah,
good
I
to
love
go.
that they throw the pit changers on the front. They
Chuck
just
those
they just
things.
yeet the
Yes.
thing.
So kind of weird, but no, it was the pit cycles were insane. It was very entertaining to watch, and there was different like pit cycles going on. Like
There
you
was
saw-
a couple of
Was
strategies.
it like Connor Daly
Connor
did a really
Daly
quick
and
one?
someone else that were on an alternate strategy.
I think Kirkwood maybe.
There
It
was a
might have been
handful
Kirkwood.
depending throughout the race. Like it kind of changed.
It almost played out
Yeah.
in their favor. So
Almost.
in between there, when they were just running laps, there wasn't much going on. There was a little bit of passing. It wasn't until like the last 50 laps that it really turned into like all right, we gotta go. And
Yeah.
that's kind of when you saw the excitement turn. The only thing that was bad for Larson was they got him on speeding in pit road.
That is what killed him.
And they
That was
never
crushing.
got like a caution or anything to get it back. I'm like, no.
No.
By that
No.
time, all the Hondas were gone. So yeah, he was just kind of floating around 22nd. I think only 22 cars were still running at that point, and he was right there, 22 or 21.
Yep. Got back to I think he finished like 18th or something like that.
Yeah.
18th, 16th, somewhere around there. Yeah, kind of a bummer of an end, and honestly, that
Yeah, just caught speeding. That's it. I don't think anyone else was caught speeding. I don't remember any other.
He locked
speeding.
up
There was
hard.
a couple
He locked
other
up hard
pit
on
road penalties, but I don't know about speeding, but I definitely heard a little bit on the broadcast on the PA, a couple other penalties. But yeah, that one sucked.
So
yeah,
Kind of killed his day. If they had got a caution, man, actually we were
he
listening to
might
him.
have.
If they had got a caution, he would have had enough fuel to make it to the end.
Yeah, he would have. I was
rooting for it. I was like, I don't want to see somebody crash because it's so dangerous here. But I'm like, I need Larson to have a chance.
I was thinking, someone's engine blow, please.
Yeah,
someone's
yeah,
engine
yeah,
let go,
yeah, yeah.
please. Is there another Honda left, please?
I will say, after being there and watching the race, I guess let's talk about it first. Joseph Newgarden wins.
Yep.
Right? That was
Yeah.
cool. Being in the grandstands, that was obviously an extremely popular win.
yes,
And then,
Back
of
to
course,
back.
believe it or not, we were actually in the section that he ran up.
We were right
in.
there.
We were just at the top of it. He ran up about maybe 5-6 rows
oh,
or
you
something.
could tell once he won. You could tell everyone was getting up and going to that area because
'Cause
they
they
knew
knew.
he was going to run in
It's
and do it again.
But it was cool. But we were in the section. That's how close we were to start finish. That he ran up
jumped
in there,
into. That's
and that
cool.
was cool, man. That was really cool. And we stayed. We watched him go up the lift into victory lane, drink the milk, all the
yeah.
stuff, get the read.
Nobody really left. If you were
That was
there,
the thing.
nobody left.
I looked at Matt after. The race has been over for 15 minutes at this point. I look at Matt. I'm like, Matt, nobody's left. And we
Yeah,
started
nobody
looking
left.
around like
in that front
it's
section,
packed.
other areas like corners and stuff, you could see it was clearing out for
it's-
sure.
But only this is again 15 minutes after a cup race. It's empty.
Oh, it's gone. Everyone's gone.
At that point, it's still 70% full.
I was just saying.
15 minutes
Yeah,
after.
at a cup race.
Everybody's watching the celebration of the
By the
winner.
time they've on their third driver of interviews, like the stands are basically gone. Like everyone's almost gone.
So that was pretty interesting to watch. That's why I'm like, man, like NASCAR needs to do this every week. You need to figure out how to make every week victory lane interviews. Make that
Was the
thing
other thing.
special.
Post race, the post race coverage, obviously huge. Tons of post race coverage, interviewing a ton of
You
different
need
drivers.
it.
Yeah. So that was something I noticed too, because I at that point, of course, you have the cup race that is running at. Is Lindsay okay?
She's fine.
Okay. I just saw something move out of the corner of my eye. we had the Cup race and obviously the Indy race in it at the same time, so I had like both
I was
on
watching
and
I was
stuff.
watching the Cup race on my phone.
Oh, yeah.
I was committed. I was like, we're
I
gonna
had
watch
to-
this start.
So I had to work some of that day. So I was like had it on and while I was walking around and stuff. And then I got home and I had it one on my on a monitor over on this side of me, and then I had on the big TV. I had the Cup race going, and then I had my daughter screaming because she wanted to watch Mickey Mouse, and I told her no, not right now.
Sometimes it's a no.
I'm like, not right now. And fortunately, my wife was like, not right now, sweetie. We're gonna watch race cars. Like she was like, I understand. It's like kind of a big deal. It's fine.
Okay, one race, one day.
We
One day.
we had a timer set. We knew green flag was what 6:22 or something like that.
Yeah.
So we had a timer set for 5 minutes before. So
Yeah.
I would get to learn on my phone. I'm like, all right, Matt, pull it up. Oh, the track, the Wi-Fi,
Oh yeah, how was that?
300,000 people there. Perfect.
No issues.
None.
No issues at all.
So it can be done.
Phone
Yes.
signal,
No issues.
no issues.
I was like, yeah, you guys were sending us stuff. So I
Bro,
mean, yeah.
I
we were
was like,
sending videos and everything
okay,
to Lindsay the whole
if
time.
if you can do 300,000 with no, like, bro, like I was literally like no issues.
None. No issues.
Like I was like, come on, bro. It can be done. That's all I need to know.
It's
So
proven.
if you don't do it, Bristol, just for us with being a content creators, like we were trying to hook up with some different people at Bristol, but you can't. There's zero service, nothing. And I know because I've been to Bristol
Well, I blame Tennessee.
when
on
nobody's there, and I know it works. So like, why? Like, come on, bro. Like, there's no excuse. Quit being a freaking cheapo, bro. Like,
that. You got
fix
one
this
day.
stuff,
You got
man.
one major event, right?
Not
at your
even
hometown.
build a system that rolls with your NASCAR schedule. It's every week.
They can do it, man.
It's
possible.
definitely something that can
You
be
only
done.
have one weekend off. Like, build a mobile system.
If
Like,
nothing
I don't
else,
know.
NASCAR needs to just get one of these carriers to be their official sponsor, and then just be like, okay,
It's almost
Bring
like,
Sprint back.
like Sprint, like Nextel Sprint.
No, I
Yeah.
mean, but like that was like, I expected to have no phone service. I was kind of bummed because of the delay of the start and everything. Like we're gonna miss the Coke 600. Da, da, da.
We would have missed the whole thing.
And then,
Yeah.
but dude, like it worked perfectly.
Yeah.
I could
No
send,
issues.
I could send minute-long videos,
Oh yeah. No.
bro. Like, not even did it work; it worked amazing.
that's awesome.
Yeah. Very very happy. Everything worked well. And then after the race, it was time to head
Oh yeah,
home.
this
So
is our second adventure.
Oh
kind
gosh.
of like what we were saying earlier about the whole Uber. We were walking in the direction of the airport because we knew we're like, listen, it's like 9 o'clock at night. We don't have a hotel room.
Yeah, you don't want to go north. If you got to go south, go south. If you got to go north,
Is
go
north into the city?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Got it.
The city's kind of
Northeast.
wait,
Oh, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just
east,
saying.
southeast. City is southeast.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
Really like
Okay.
Really like
it's,
south,
anyway,
Anywho,
yeah.
So we were heading to the airport. We saw the
So
planes
we're
coming
heading
in.
we're
We're like,
heading
go that way.
southwest of the track.
And as our Uber driver explained, do not order an Uber driver anywhere near the track. So we're
So
like,
I'm pulling up the map
All right,
and
so
I'm like
I'm like-
looking at the roads that are closed, and I'm like,
and I'm like pricing out the Uber. The only $90 straight up for a 4-mile drive.
Jeez.
Yes.
and I'm looking at the map while Matt's trying to do that. I'm like, Matt, I don't think that's gonna work. I'm like, there's not a road open to the track for 3.5 miles.
Everything was infield out to the highways. Infield out.
All egress.
Find some dude with a pickup truck. Say, hey, I'll ride with you.
So it was
So-
honestly debatable. I was kind of thinking about that. So we were hiking. We were just walking everywhere we could. We finally get to, we're like, what, 34 minutes in, 35 minutes in?
40, we walked 45 minutes.
45 minutes, and we find like the strip mall. And we're like, listen, we're
Oh
hungry.
no, sorry. Okay,
We
strip mall.
haven't-
30 about 30 minutes.
We
yeah.
haven't eaten at all, right? Like we had maybe a little snack at
we
like 11.
haven't eaten since Waffle House.
Well, I think I
Well,
got
we
like
ate-
2
we-
hot dogs.
we ate a
Like,
little
yeah, it
bit,
wasn't
but
like a
not
meal,
much.
right? Like a little snack
Like,
here and there.
yeah. Got it.
We were hungry, so we find there's a China restaurant, like a China food restaurant. There's a wing house and a
Little Caesars.
Little Caesars, all right next to each other. We're
We
like
walk up. We're going to Little Caesars. Closed.
closed,
Race
closed for the
day.
race.
Like,
All right, I
again.
Here
get
we
it.
go again.
Right, they're small franchises. I get it. Then we were like, all right, let's go to the China place. They're open. Go in there. I'm like, just
of
give me.
course, the Chinese restaurants.
I'm like,
open.
just give me like a pint of fried rice and a little Pepsi. Okay. Puts in the order. I give him no credit cards. I'm like, are
Cash
you
only.
serious?
We're like,
really?
So we go to the wing
All right,
place.
we're out. So we go over to the wing shop, get a fried chicken sandwich or whatever they had there. Go in there, walk in. Hi, are you guys here for pickup? No, we wanted to order.
She's like, pick up or takeout. We're like, takeout. She's like, use the app. We're like,
You have to use that.
we don't. What
I'm
is
like, are
what
you
is
just-
what is this
what is
restaurant?
up
I've
with
never even
this-
heard of this restaurant. What are we doing?
What is up with the city making everyone buy online? Like, I'm standing there. Just let me put in an order. Like, no. And there's tons of people there eating. Like, they all must have bought online. I don't know if it's like a
We
common
just did
rule.
not have at that point, we're so exhausted. We're like, I don't even have the mental capacity to download an app, put
No,
in
I'm
my
not doing
card,
this
and do all
nonsense.
this. Like, no.
We
Let's
left.
just keep walking south.
And we'll find something. So
Oh.
we get, it's not that far, maybe what, a quarter of a mile down the road. And we find like this little, like,
Little hole in the wall bar restaurant.
Tony's Cafe and Bar, whatever. So we go in there. It's dead. There's maybe like 2 people at the bar, and we're like, "Can we just sit down and order some food?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's fine." Cool.
Hold
All
on.
right, we got
Do
a
you
yes.
take cards?
That was the second question. Do you take cards? Yes. Can we sit anywhere? Yes. So we found power outlets because we were out.
All of our
juice.
devices are almost dead at this point.
I wish I had thought about that. I have some power banks I could have.
I bought one, and we were going through it like crazy.
I recharged my phone 3 times on Sunday,
Yeah.
taking that many videos and all kinds of
That's
stuff.
So we get there. Jake's orders a pizza, and I order nachos.
I'm like, it was like what, like $10-12.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's gonna be
The
enough for one
biggest
person,
portions in the world.
bro.
I think you got a 24-inch pizza.
Oh my god!
Like,
Bro, I had
Extra
both of
large.
us had ordered enough food to feed both of us.
yes.
Oh geez.
And I had a plate of nachos. I kid you not, the size of like a football or
like the
rugby ball.
volcano nachos at Margaritaville.
Bigger,
Jeez.
Bigger.
bigger.
Jeez.
Not even a lie. Like, and we're just like looking at this food, like, I can't eat all this. And we're chugging
Bro.
waters because we're just thirsty, you know. So we're there for like
What
an
time
hour.
is it at this point?
9
o'clock?
o'clock? No, later. Sun was set.
I think we got
We got out of the
no,
race
we,
at
no,
7:30.
We got
so
there like, oh yeah, you're right.
We
So it's
got
probably,
there about an hour.
It's probably like 8:45.
Yeah, 9ish. So
Because
we're
our
there.
Uber picked us up around like 9:30, right?
Yes. So we're there watching the race on our phone, and this is like right when everyone's like, "Oh, the rain's here, it's coming." We're watching Larson land,
Flying in. Yeah.
run on over. We're like, "Oh, this is so cool." We knew what the weather was because it just hit us
Yeah.
like 4 hours earlier.
Yep.
He flew through some crap. Like that was some heavy rainstorms for him to land and then be like, "Oh, it's a rain delay. Oh, it's red flagged. Oh, we're not running." I'd be so mad. Like, I can tell he was in a helicopter. Could you imagine being in like a thunderstorm scenario in a helicopter? Absolutely not. There is no way I would be doing that.
Well, he
nonsense.
probably wasn't in that. Well, no,
He probably was.
He
in
definitely
some-
flew through some tough
some
in the
bad
plane
stuff.
for sure. Yeah.
So we were there, rain delay, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, man, that sucks. You know, okay, everyone's out of their fire suit, so I turn it off. I'm like, it's going to be a while before they get
Yeah.
back. They were all doing their interviews, and they were just going on and on about Christopher Bell. I was like, they're going to call this freaking race. They were talking about like he's leading the race, Christopher Bell. You know, he's been doing so good. His
By
car's set
this
up.
point, we have gotten an Uber, and we're
At this point, we were
we're
like
at the airport
on our
Oh yeah,
call.
so Matt was trying to convince me to get a hotel room, and I was like, dude, I don't think Uber, because our flight was so early, we had to be at the airport at 3. I don't think Uber's gonna run that early. Like, I don't think we should.
I just
risk
don't
it.
know. Like Orlando, yeah, probably.
Oh, Orlando, 100%. You're
but
gonna
like
get Uber
rural
24/7.
Indiana, maybe not. I
Yeah.
didn't
So I was
want to
like,
risk
bro,
it.
like we just need to go to the airport.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, cool.
We get to the airport at what, 10 o'clock?
Yes.
You
Get
had
to-
to be at the airport from 10 to what?
No, I think we like got in and like sat down. It was like 11 o'clock because we were trying to go through TSA for the morning just to find a place to sleep. And they're like, oh no, TSA is closed until 3 o'clock tomorrow. So we're sitting in like
It
the
was
main
it was like
lobby.
11 o'clock. 'Cause what time they call the cup race?
12.
Yeah,
I
so it
wanna
was
say-
like
it was
no,
like
they called
midnight.
it
11:30.
11:30.
11:30.
yeah, it makes sense. So yeah,
As
we
soon
were,
as they called it, I'm like, I'm going to bed. I
so
was done.
we wanted to go through TSA so we could go find us a place to lay down in a corner and go to sleep.
Because they got nice chairs in the
Right,
gates and
right.
stuff. I was like, cool, I can probably slouch and get no.
we had to
they
sit.
kicked us
We
out.
had to sit in the lobby in the middle of like massive thunderstorm that it was like flashing lights, couldn't hardly sleep at all. And we basically sat at a like table and
At
chairs.
a table from 11 to 4 this morning. It was a lot of fun.
I'm glad y'all learned all.
No
lot of
pillows,
these
no
things,
blankets.
'cause,
And the airport was freezing.
Oh, it was cold. I changed. I put my jeans back on. I was in shorts. I put my jeans back on. I was like, I can't do this.
It was a
Jake
whole
slept pretty
thing.
good. I was like, I don't want to say I was like
I
watching,
slept
but
pretty good. I'm in an hour straight.
you were. Hey, I was every time I started to nod off, I'd start falling and I'd wake myself back up.
Oh, that's the worst.
Bro, I woke up. I was like, my body hurts. I was
No.
in so much pain.
Everyone was sleeping in the airport. There was probably 30 people, 35 people just chilling on all the couches sleeping.
All
I was
race fans, all in Indy gear.
Yeah. So
That's funny.
then we finally got on the plane. 5 o'clock. You knocked out. You were in the plane.
Oh,
I
I
took a
slept
photo
the
of you.
whole
You were
plane
out.
ride home.
I was in
The
the middle.
whole ride home, I was out.
Listen to music. We flew through a little storm, but it wasn't that bad.
Really?
Yeah, we did. It was pretty turbulent.
Jake's like, really?
I had no idea.
Oh yeah, no, I was awake.
Dude, I slept. So Matt slept pretty good the first night. I slept so bad.
3 hours. 3 hours the first night. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
11
I
to
slept-
like 3.
I slept a total of probably 2 hours and 15 to 30 minute increments the first night. So like I was hurting for sleep.
I don't know what was up with you. You were coughing like crazy, man.
Bro, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. So finally got back here in town. Got in a truck. I finally got home at 9:30. I slept from 10 to 12 today. That was it. That's our weekend. That's Indy.
Hell of a run.
One of a kind. I'm telling you, man.
We got in the truck and I told Matt, I was like, it was a lot of fun, but this is by far the hardest run we've ever done.
See, I don't. There's a part of me that's like sitting in a car for 10 hours driving. It's just so much worse than like just a little 2-hour airplane ride.
No,
Sleeping in a
nothing,
chair
nothing
for
to
a
do
few
with that.
hours.
It's just the lack of sleep, the amount of
Oh,
partying.
it was running.
The amount of partying and staying up late on Saturday.
The amount of
how long we were at
unknown
the track on
was
Saturday.
wild.
The 4-mile walk from the track to the closest Uber pickup point.
Yeah.
Like
we
all of that. Like by the end of it, we're like we're
Saturday,
just war. I mean, I couldn't even imagine the drive home after the race. Are you
Saturday
kidding me?
we walked 8 miles. Sunday we walked 11.
Jeez.
So within like
That doesn't even count walking to the airport and walking.
Yeah,
we had a
no.
bunch of walking. Or like we hit 20 miles in 2 days.
yeah, it was easy.
Jeez.
I have blisters, battle scars.
So that is the Indy tale.
Well, I will tell
The
you
Here for the
guys,
Speed Indy Indy
telling
tale.
the story of Indy is probably in itself would be our longest podcast so far. We're up to 1 hour and 24 minutes.
Nice.
We are going to still talk about some more stuff.
Let's talk about the Cup race real quick.
Yep.
Um,
So first off, how much of it did you guys
All
actually
of
get
it.
to see? You got
So
to
we
see it
watched
all?
the whole race.
Okay.
I couldn't hear a lot of it. That was my problem. So I got to watch a lot of it. But
so me and Matt we paired our AirPods together. So we were Kyle Larson in one ear, Coke 600 in the other
oh,
ear.
it was a little
So we were tuned in. It
That's-
was pretty good.
the numbers, Mason. It was a little wild.
I felt like it was pretty good. I felt like so far it wasn't as good as Kansas. Like it was racy, but it wasn't as racy as Kansas.
Oddly, it wasn't.
The whole
Maybe
pit
it was just
drama
colder.
with Kyle Busch and
No,
Chris
No,
Buescher.
Denny Hamlin,
Buescher.
Busher,
I'm sorry, I said
and
Kyle
Nemechek.
yes, that was pretty wild.
That
Yeah.
was.
I feel for Busher. I mean, it was kind of out
I
of
feel
his,
for Hamlin on that one.
Honestly,
Busch-
all
I mean-
three of them. Well, not,
I mean,
not
well,
Buscher
not,
was
not,
given
not
a
Nemechek,
spot.
but
yeah. Well, Busher was getting so mad. He's like, he's not even trying at this point. Like, he was hanging so far out and
yeah.
so sideways.
I mean, Hamlin was pissed about
Oh,
it
yeah,
too.
he was.
He was so mad. He was like, "You don't go over there." He was telling Chris, he was like,
I'll go
like,
and
I'm
fight
gonna
him.
take your man card. I'm gonna go fight him for you. Like, I'm gonna go deck him."
Oh, he was mad.
so let's jump to it. What do y'all think about them calling the race?
Garbage.
I mean,
Garbage,
well,
yeah.
I should say, is there anything else we want to talk about during the race? Fords look fast.
Brad
mainly,
was so
not
fast.
not really Fords.
Reddick,
Brad looks fast.
Reddick looked really fast.
Well,
That's-
I mean, they
Ty
Toyota.
Gibbs. I mean, not Ty Gibbs / 2311. I mean, they're gonna be fast a mile and a half.
That's true,
That one doesn't
but-
really surprise me. The RFK is still showing up strong. That's
Very
awesome.
strong.
Busher was really good until he got screwed on pit road.
Multiple times.
Every time he was on pit road, he got screwed. That's why he
Um,
was running top 5, I think, at one point, and then
Brad was actually chasing down Bell right there
Brad,
toward the end.
if this race had gone all the way, I think
Very good long
it's
run.
hard to say. It was going to come down to probably Reddick, Bell, or Brad. I just kind of wonder if the not the RFK, but the Gibbs / 2311, the depth and the working together they do, can they stay with the track and the changes? Like who would make
I
those
don't
changes
know.
better long run?
Brad.
But it's pretty close. It's kind of close to a 3-way tie. you know. But Brad had a real shot. I wanted Brad to win, man. Like
Me too.
coming off
back
a
to back.
yeah,
Let's go.
heck yeah, you know.
Yeah, that was sad, but I don't make the rules.
Yeah.
I didn't
No,
drive
as
well
far as
every
calling
week.
the race, no, I think that I was a little surprised. I figured they'd be like, it's Memorial Day. A lot of people are off. We deserve the fans to give him a good run. Plus, not to mention the whole Kyle Larson thing. Like,
I was shocked.
I just figured they'd be like, we'll run it in the morning.
The whole Kyle Larson thing is going to throw such a wrench because him not running this race, like even trying, like, well, he tried, but
Yeah.
him not having the chance to drive a lap around this racetrack, it's causing so much controversy in the media.
Yeah.
I mean,
What's
there's
up,
people who are like, he
I'm
doesn't
kind of
deserve.
split. So let's ask the question: what do you think? Should he get a waiver or not?
Oh man. So I fear that if he doesn't get a waiver, it will deter everyone from doing this ever again. Do you know what I mean? It'll put that fear like, oh, if I do this and I invest all this time and energy into it, and there is a small rainstorm or a moderate
Anything.
rainstorm, right? I would risk not running for the championship. Well, that's my paycheck.
Yeah.
Like I could risk not having that, then losing a ride, being bid out. Like it's such a tricky subject. I think NASCAR is gonna have to give them one. I think they're gonna have to. Right.
My thing is like I don't think you can promote as much as you have been promoting and talk about how great it is, and then
I don't know that NASCAR's done a whole lot of promoting on the whole.
all
double.
they talked about half the Indy talk, half of
That's
the
Fox.
stuff.
That's not NASCAR. That's Fox.
Not at Indy. Indy was NBC. NBC wouldn't stop talking about
That's not
Larson.
NASCAR. That's NBC.
Okay.
NBC and Fox is not NASCAR.
But my point is, think about
They
all the
sell them the
publicity.
right to review the. Yeah, but NASCAR. And we talked about this with Jeff Gluck. Like, are they going to give him a waiver? Probably. Is there a chance they won't because NASCAR
There is
does
a-
some
there is a
stupid,
chance.
ridiculous stuff? Like, yeah, like the whole reason why it's a question everybody like doesn't know is because NASCAR's been known to do some like ridiculous off the cuff stuff.
Like promoting a fight and then penalizing the guy for.
Yeah,
That's so
bro.
dumb.
Like we're promoting, showing all this footage. Oh, by the way, $75,000 is the price to punch Kyle Busch.
Appreciate that. Thanks for all the media coverage.
Yeah.
Like, what the
It's
heck
crazy.
is
So
that?
it's up in the air. I don't know what NASCAR is going to do. Do they have to figure it out
do
by
you,
next
do you
week?
think he should get a waiver? Yes or no?
I say yes because
DJ?
Yeah, I think so.
I want this to
I could
continue.
go either
don't.
way.
I don't want this to be the end of the double. No driver will do the double because they're going to risk it.
I agree with that.
Does that
Yeah.
make sense? Now listen.
Well,
if they,
I mean,
if
no,
they
no, it's
change
not
the
necessarily
playout-
true because then Kyle Larson would just not run the double and have a backup for the double and leave at 4:15 when he has to.
Sorry, say that one more time.
So
I'm a little slow right now.
instead of
What's Spartan time?
it's not that the double would be over. It's just if the Indy 500 is either rain delayed or wreck delayed, you just have to back up for the Indy 500 and leave at 4:15, which is the cutoff to make it to Charlotte.
But why even? I just don't see why. You know why? Why have the backup? Just don't run.
Well, there's been no double since the whole playoffs were introduced.
Right. So maybe it's just a playoff thing. Maybe it's something they should look at. Maybe changing it next year or whatever, because there's rumors that other people want to try this whole method. But why would you risk it? If this is a potential rainstorm is going to end your entire year's work, why risk it? I don't get it.
See, because if you look at like, okay, so Chase Elliott got a waiver right last year.
Yeah, but that was a medical issue.
Okay, but he was
He also
injured.
got a waiver for suspension
Yes. So
from
my-
NASCAR. NASCAR gave him a suspension for 1 week, wrecking Denny
Yeah,
Hamlin
I
at Coke
remember that.
600 last
Yes.
year.
Yes, but my thing is, so in that case, that was something that was on. See, that's still kind of this. No, it's still kind of the same thing.
Some of the drivers have said it great. You make a choice to go run another series,
Yes.
something that's not affiliated with NASCAR,
Correct.
right? You run that
Something
risk.
they got rain delayed and took viewers away from the beginning of the Coke 600 for NASCAR.
Yes, you run that risk. There are going to be penalties. I'm not saying I want him to be penalized. Like, I want this to continue. I'd love to see him do it again next year, and then possibly other drivers do it. I think it's a great marketing. I mean, it got us to the Indy 500.
Yep.
We weren't really considering it. You know, if he probably ran other races, we'd probably try to go to those too. And I'm not even the hugest Kyle Larson fan, but I got a dog in the fight now. It's one of those things. So I hope he gets the waiver so it doesn't deter anyone in the future. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
That makes a good point. I could see an argument on both sides.
100%.
The purist race fan can say, well, the rule book says this. Why are we making exceptions? If Kyle Larson can be, absent for one race just because of different opportunities, why couldn't, say, Justin Allgaier or SVG comes in and wins one race? Why can't he be playoff eligible?
Exactly.
He had prior obligations. Like, it just muddies the water a lot if they give it to him. At this point, can Denny Hamlin, or somebody else go miss a race to go run some other exhibition
The
thing?
only one the only driver
he's not
I
running
saw.
points for Indy. For him, it's an exhibition style of event.
What's the other big one? The California race, the California Grand Prix. Or
You're talking about Long Beach?
Yeah,
Oh,
that
Long
one.
Beach
Okay, let's say Logano wants to run
gets
that,
a deal to go run Long Beach.
right?
Does he get a waiver?
I couldn't tell.
I think it depends on the situation.
I agree with you guys. I want him to have the waiver because of what it is, the publicity, everything. But at the same time,
I see why they would.
dang, man,
I
it
get
muddies
Yeah.
the
a
water.
slap on the wrist,
No.
What's the expectation going forward? Will you only get a waiver if it's the Indy 500?
Here's the other thing.
Well, is it only? Are you
If
only
he-
going to get a waiver if it's the Indy 500 and you tried everything you could to be here?
Is he only getting a waiver because it's Hendrick? How many
never
people are
know.
going to put that?
I don't think
up
that.
there?
Well, I mean, people might think that. I don't think that has anything to do with it.
I don't either, but it's going to be a thing.
The only reason why he stayed is because Hendrick has invested millions of dollars into this.
They had crew there.
Rick Hendrick, Jeff Gordon are part owners with
McLaren Arrow.
Yeah,
Zach Brown. They're all part owners in this 17 car.
Yeah.
They're
That's
all
wild.
part owners. So like Mr. Hendrick and Jeff Gordon are part owners of an IndyCar team.
Yep.
Not really, but like this entry for this race.
This particular one car.
This is a multi-million-dollar investment to run this race. So like, I
What
kind
do
of
you
knew from the
do?
beginning by reading that the Indy 500 was always going to be priority.
yeah.
One of the things we learned from Jeff Gluck was basically what he said is, and there's no proof, there's no evidence, but basically this whole Coke 600 is a priority and all that. That was just a face to
100%.
kind of just suffice NASCAR and make them happy.
Not stop.
But that was
Larson
100%
fans from going.
That
Yeah.
was never the plan.
If 2 weeks ago
Kyle
Kyle
which does
Larson
make
said,
sense.
"Hey, if it gets rain delayed, priority's 500. I won't be at the 600."
He would not get a waiver.
Agreed.
You
Agreed.
couldn't.
100%.
And
So
what?
they had
let's
to
just
say- they had to
let's just
save
throw out their
face.
10,000 fans now don't show up.
No, it has nothing to do with fans. Nothing.
I would
Nothing.
argue that.
Nothing to do
NASCAR.
with fans.
I would say NASCAR would be more upset that their race is not the
It
priority.
had everything to do with not just totally taking a dump on NASCAR and their event and just saving face and doing everything they could to complete the 500 as long as they were in contention and get to the Coke 600.
Yep.
That was the plan.
Because a lot of people,
And I would say that's the plan from the beginning.
a lot of people were even saying like once it got delayed and everything, and they're like, "Yep, he's going, and Kyle Larson's he's heading there. He's going to the," and everyone's like, "Why? He's going to run what 100 laps at best?"
He has to save
He
face.
has
And
to
it
save
was
face.
that was what you were
He has
saying.
to.
It was like, yeah, and it's like that makes sense. Like otherwise, if he just went home, NASCAR would be like, "You didn't even try."
And I'm gonna be honest, I think it's bigger than Kyle Larson. It's not like Larson is like, "Oh, I really don't want to run the 600, but I have to make it look like it." No, it's bigger. It's like you got to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like he doesn't even really have a dog in the fight. He goes where he's told to go. Like, hey, you're getting a chance to run both. Congratulations. You're gonna make it look good.
Well, it could go even further than that. Than contractually obligated, he's contractually obligated to run every NASCAR race.
Yeah.
Not all the laps, but every race.
Yeah.
So he's contractually obligated to get to the Coke 600 as fast as possible.
Do you
So I
think,
don't know.
Do you
It's
think
up in
this
the air.
situation gets less muddied though if he could have at least run?
100%.
You think it changes?
What, half?
Let's say
No.
the race continued and
Nope. He missed the start. It's the same no matter what.
you don't think that changes
Because he
any.
scores no points. If Justin Allgaier runs a quarter of a lap, he scores no points.
But my point is because he's now at least. Does it change NASCAR's mind? Is what I mean. Like, well, now he at least ran. He did run.
No.
You don't
It
think
makes
they
no
look at?
difference. It's all about the effort. As long as you made an effort to get here and all that, that'll be the only thing. I think NASCAR wants to avoid the bad publicity, and that is the only reason why he'll get a playoff waiver.
I
Because
can agree with that.
IndyCar is going to totally take a dump on him. Like, how are you going to stop the NBC not IndyCar, but NBC's broadcast of IndyCar races,
Yeah.
when they report on the news that NASCAR or IndyCar Kyle Larson came and ran IndyCar and will not get a playoff waiver because he committed to staying. Like, that's bad publicity.
For both.
You're going to make all
both.
the IndyCar fans that are watching that be upset at NASCAR.
Yeah.
So I think that alone, plus all the Hendrick, Chevy, Kyle Larson fans, they're all going to be PO'd. Plus, you're going to have other NASCAR fans who feel like it's unjust. So really, you're just going to make a handful of loud minority upset that you gave him the waiver.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I'm
so
kind
that's
of
kinda what it
with
comes
you
down to.
there.
Like, I feel like they have to give it to him, but it won't surprise me.
It
It will
wouldn't.
surprise me a little bit, but like it won't really if they don't give it to him. Just
So,
because
okay.
they don't, NASCAR does not like their ego
So-
bruised.
How would that work? So if it doesn't get a playoff waiver, does that mean like even if he wins another race, he's
He's
still,
out.
He's still
Yeah,
out.
he's not
He's
in.
out.
He's 16th.
That's wild.
Or I'm sorry, 17th.
17.
Has how many wins this year? 3?
Right? No, 1, I think.
Thought
He's
he
only got 1 win. No,
I
2.
don't even
He's
know.
got
Like
2.
that could be so complicated with the owners' points and everything.
Yeah.
What do you do? Yeah.
Well, I feel like the owners' points should be okay. I guess the driver. I don't know, man. It's a mess.
I mean,
Hopefully they
honestly-
don't go down that road.
Because,
Hopefully
yeah,
they get a
honestly,
waiver.
why
the other
Why
crush it?
continue
The other thing-
racing?
Now you're the experimental car all year.
You know what
Yeah.
else? You know what else? If they do give him the playoff waiver and he wins the championship, dude, there's gonna be such a loud minority that just cries the entire time.
Yep.
Like the people that say Chase Elliott won a championship and it's like a Mickey Mouse championship because there was no practice and qualifying
It was.
during COVID. Man, shut up, dude.
It was, man.
I mean, he's still
Yeah,
won
I
at
guess
Phoenix.
he's a lot better than Brad because Brad obviously needs to practice to win once every 3 years.
I didn't know he owned a team.
Who?
Elliot.
Oh, I mean, whatever.
I just don't think he cares enough to own a team, to be honest. I
He
don't think-
probably doesn't.
Again,
doesn't
Brad
he doesn't
wins.
give 2 craps
Brad
about
wins
NASCAR.
once every 3 years. You're gonna talk like he's freaking king of the mountain.
He is, man.
Rolling on.
Anyway, so talk
King
about
of
the
the
tweet
six.
up because you said there was all kinds of different.
All right, y'all want the juicy stuff?
I've been waiting for an hour and 40 minutes.
No,
All right.
this is some wild stuff. So,
Teams are gonna have this week new charter agreements,
Oh, okay.
enhance.
and basically
In hands or it's going to be announced?
NASCAR, no, in hands to the teams to sign and send back to NASCAR.
Got it.
Basically, it has been made super clear by NASCAR that you have no leverage.
yeah.
What if you don't sign the charter? What are you gonna do?
Not
You
show
don't. You
up.
don't sign the new agreement, which sounds like 7 years, a little more money, and obviously the TV contract went up, so you get money based on that. So a little more percentage of the pie, and you obviously get more money because the TV contract is bigger.
Okay.
So overall, it's a significant.
Is the new NASCAR deal and the TV deal like they're tied together for the teams? How does that like? How
So
does that work?
basically, I forget the exact percentage. Let's just say
roughly.
let's just say 15%. I don't know what it is, plus or minus. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's gonna go from like 15 plus a couple percent to like a 19
Okay.
at the top. Could be as low as like a 17, like a 2%, 3% increase.
Okay.
Don't know for sure. Again, do not quote me on the 15%. So they're gonna get a little more percentage,
Quoted.
but shut up. But the overall money from the TV contract is going up significantly.
Yeah,
I
it was a
forget
huge
what's
jump.
the original deal from last contract? I forget what it was. It's like
I don't remember, but it was a
It
huge
is a
jump.
significant jump up. So you get that percentage jump, plus you get the revenue jump of what the previous 7-year contract was to this now 7-year contract.
Gotcha. So they get a cut from
it's a
NASCAR
pretty
and a
substantial.
cut from the TV
No,
deal.
it's one cut. You get 1%.
But it's
the
where
TV
it
deal.
comes from.
Let's say the TV deal was $700 million this last year, and now it's like $5 billion or whatever. I forget what the numbers
I
are.
think it's 700 a year. 700 million. No.
I
I don't remember.
I don't know. We'll look at it. Anyways,
Anyway.
if you look up the previous TV contract, you'll see how much money it is. You see how much the new TV contract is. It is a significant increase. So if you're getting 15% before and you get 15% now, that is a massive increase in dollars
Right.
in your
Okay,
revenue.
got it.
In addition to that, they're getting an additional couple percent increase on the year-to-year payout.
Okay.
So
got it, got it.
getting more money overall because the TV
In-
contract is way more money.
more money
And
from
you're getting
more
a few
sources.
more percent.
Yeah, more money from the same sources. Got it.
Right. So I'll just let you know the big winners in this is the tracks.
Really?
Oh, dude, stupid. The NASCAR gets 10% of the TV
That
contract.
could be good though, because a lot
So
of the
if
tracks
the
need a lot of
teams
help.
get say 20%, NASCAR gets 10. Who's getting the other 70?
Yep.
Yeah, put that together. Plus ticket sales. So you see why Denny Hamlin's hot on the tracks. So it sounds like that. It sounds like a 7-year extension on
Charters.
charters. No permanent charters. That sounds like that's not going to happen.
Sounds like it will not happen.
I'd be
Ever.
surprised.
I'm trying to think what else. So basically, what it sounds like, all the smaller teams, your 2-3 car teams,
Legacy and
they're on board. Let's go. We're ready. Let's go. Your bigger teams, I don't know. Like he didn't say anything about Hendrick or Gibbs, but a bunch of the smaller teams are all on board. It sounds like the major fighter to this is 2311 and a little bit Trackhouse Racing. Those are your two primary.
I wonder why Trackhouse.
And colleagues in there a little bit too. Yeah, they're just fighting for a better deal. They're from other sports businesses, you know what I mean? So that sounds like that's where that's at. So supposedly they're supposed to all get signed. So I would expect we might hear a deal done in like 2 to 3 weeks. But basically what NASCAR basically has told their opponents, like 2311, the people who are fighting the charter agreement the most, is like, what do you have to stand on? You have nothing.
What are you gonna do? You know,
If you don't sign the charter agreement, what are you going to do next year? You have this whole new shop. You have millions, millions and millions built on or spent on charters. And if you don't sign the agreement, you can't race on our series. What are you going to do? What are you by yourself going to do? Because all these other guys are signing. So 2311 went from having leverage to zero.
Yep.
Very
They have
quick.
no leverage. You have to sign.
Yep.
Yeah.
You.
It only worked.
If
It only worked if
2311
all the
doesn't show up
drivers
and they
did it.
default their charters and
Exactly.
NASCAR takes their charters. What's we'll just give it as like, you know what I mean? Like,
This
what are
is
you gonna do?
This is the definition of your only strongest is your weakest link, because it
Yes.
literally only depended on once you started having some of those smaller teams saying, "All right, yeah, we're cool with that. We're cool with that." It starts totally pulling away all the
And
legitimacy.
you know
from the big
NASCAR
teams.
played this game perfectly.
Oh, of course they did.
Because before it was like the RTA and all the teams together, Race Team Alliance, RTA, and they're all getting together and like fighting the man, whatever. And then NASCAR's like, all right, cool. And they called a meeting, all the RTA and NASCAR at Daytona in February. And NASCAR's like, nah, fam, we're good. We're not going. Right? And then
We talked about it.
You know what NASCAR's done since then? They've gone to every team individually.
Yes.
And
and
they've
asked like
gotten
what they wanted. And okay, well, let me show you.
they've
what
gotten a
we can
handful of
do.
buy-offs for sure. And so it's not like now, like, well, you going racing or not? Because these guys are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna just not race because you don't sign the charter. You don't sign the new deal, the 2025 deal. You can't race with us. And
Yeah,
we-
the
you know,
charters are. Yeah, the charters are gone. Their charters are
bro,
just.
like it's
That's it. They're the only
the
ones not
drama's
racing.
like, I could tell Jeff Gluck had more to say, but he was kind of like
Should I?
he definitely let some stuff out, but I could tell he held back a little bit because there's definitely a little more spicy news. That's probably like real rumors that nobody really knows, but that's basically where the charters are at.
Yeah.
The other big news, the bombshell he dropped, and we've heard rumbles about this. Matt actually told me about it.
I heard rumbles about this.
Part of the new deal, the new cap for teams is 3 charters.
No more.
oh,
Only Hendrick Motorsports and Joe Gibbs will be grandfathered in
That's it.
for 4 charters.
If
hold on. Why would they be?
exactly.
Why?
I asked
couldn't
him.
tell you.
I asked Jeff, and he said just because there's just so many 2-car teams, it just helps make stronger. Maybe like he didn't. He
So
really
what
have an answer.
happens to some like SHR? Are they forced to?
Oh, we
S-
talk about SHR.
oh, we're getting there. Okay,
we'll get there.
Oh, jeez.
So, but basically, that's a new thing. Hendrick and Gibbs will get special grandfathered in.
Lindsay asked, "Did he know you were going to put all this on your podcast?"
I don't care. He knows now.
We'll see.
I mean, he told a bunch of people
There's
publicly.
30 people.
But
I mean, yeah.
it was funny. It was a group of like 20 people. I'm just sitting there just asking him a hard, heavy question after another. I'm like, what about this? What about this? What? Like hammering him. I'm like,
Did you
I felt
stand
bad
up,
at the
at
end.
any point? You stand up, Jake, here for the Speed Podcast.
yeah. I did introduce us at the end, like when we took a photo together. And
Yeah, I saw him cringe.
I said, hey,
He's
we,
like,
Oh no!
I was like, we've shared a bunch of stuff, or not really. I was like, you've shared some of our posts and like some of our stuff. So I just want to introduce ourselves. Whatever.
Anyway,
So, yeah,
so
3
Jeff,
charters.
Jeff Gluck, if you're listening, we love you.
That's it.
Yeah. So car teams are going to be limited to 3 charters.
Now, if
Man.
like, I don't
that
know
changes so many things.
how. I don't know how it would work if, let's just say, tomorrow, 23 or 11 bought 2 charters. Just,
If
They're
they
up.
buy them before the charter agreement.
I have no idea that rule because
But it's such a crazy thing because the charter agreement isn't solidified, so nobody's buying charters right now.
But they also
but you
all
know they're
know
go-
there's a limit at 3. So it's like if RFK wanted another charter, like would you buy now and get 4? It'd be the only Ford with 4.
NASCAR.
Because this cuts forward from the 14.
NASCAR.
This would cut them forever.
What I heard,
or for 7 years at least.
Yeah.
what I heard a rumor was, and this wasn't from the tweet up, but it sounded like charter buying sales may be on suspension right now until the charter agreement's done.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Maybe.
That also could open
Which
up
would
the
make
door
sense.
for another manufacturer if there's all these charters.
No,
moving
because
around.
there's already 4 other
I know,
charters
but-
reserved for a new manufacturer.
So the other thing with that 4, but that 4 doesn't necessarily have to go to all the same manufacturer, does it?
No,
Like,
not necessarily.
Couldn't those 4 charters be going out to other teams and people moving things
Yeah,
around?
I think that's why they don't want to have, like, if you have 36 charters, you could have what, 9 teams,
Yeah.
9 4-car teams.
Oh, I don't know if there's. I don't know
Does
if
that
there's a
math
limit
right?
on teams.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, because 40 would be 10.
So 40 would be 10. So I think they want to have more than just 10 teams. So it makes sense if they cut it down to 3, that allows you to have more individual teams that could interact with different
That's
manufacturers.
so that would also kind of not to get jump on, but
I think too.
talking about like SHR, that makes sense why there have been a lot of rumors that Priest is going to be out and those other 3 are kind of hanging together.
So all right, let's get into Stuart Haas.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, go
They
ahead.
gone.
Done.
By everything that's been put out there, they're gone.
I've heard of
The
there's
amount.
a
So
lot of
what
people
I
looking.
asked Jeff Gluck was, wouldn't you think Stuart Haas would defend themselves with all these massive rumors all over the place that they're not coming back and they have yet to say a word? He's like, it's very telling.
That
Said
basically
something
says
to the
they're
effect
gone.
of that. He gave a long answer, but it's basically like, I mean, like them not saying anything is pretty telling. So
And none of the drivers know either. Like,
he did
not
go
bringing
into
anything up.
he did go into saying that, and he agreed, like we've all talked about, Tony Stewart is basically completely checked out, and Gene Haas is an eccentric billionaire who just doesn't care if he loses $100 million a year on NASCAR. He just might be bored with NASCAR and done,
Yeah.
and moving on to something else. He loses billions of dollars in Formula One.
Yeah.
Literally
especially this
billions
week.
of dollars.
This week, both his cars wrecked in turn 1.
They
lap one.
hemorrhage
That
hundreds of millions of dollars a year in F1. So in his time in F1, he's lost billions, right? So he doesn't care. Like, he's so rich, he does not care. Why does he care? So it just sounds like the the NASCAR experiment is just over.
and, I mean, that kind of works
Like,
with
even-
what Kevin Harvick was talking about. He's like,
Yes.
I never even talked to the owners for a while.
He made a comment about, like they said,
Yeah,
what's
2
the first
weeks
thing you noticed about going to Hendricks? Is like, well, I saw the owner 2 times in 2
Yes.
weeks.
So now doesn't that make a little bit more sense?
It does.
We also talked about the price of the charters of the Stuart Haas cars. He doesn't care. He's lost so much money, and just it doesn't
What's
affect
40
his
million?
It doesn't affect his pocket that much. He doesn't care if he sells the charters for 5 million, 10, 20, 40. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Dale Jr.'s over there like, hold on, let me call this guy up.
I'm just being serious. Like if they get 20 million per charter, then he already had all 4, so it's just plus 80 in the pocket. Like
Yeah.
if they sell for 40, I mean, it just doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So that's
It's weird, man. What was
But
it?
so part of the limiting the teams to 3 charters is to prevent themselves from killing themselves, which is kind of what's happening with Stuart Haas. They have too many cars, and they have charters. So if you can't sell a $40 million charter, if you're struggling to sell the charter to sponsor and make sure your other 3 rides are good, you know what I mean? Like the charters are valued so high that it makes it difficult to sell one and get the real value out of it. So I think the 3-car charter limit comes from having 4 is just that much more expensive.
Okay, so I have so many questions.
We can try to answer them.
I know. No, I know. These are just thoughts that are just popping in my head with all this. So like, okay. One, it's interesting that I just thought about Junior because I was thinking, I'm like, 2 of the drivers of Stuart Haas are not that far removed from Junior.
Yeah.
That's kind of an
Not
interesting thought.
Pretty good duos, too.
So I did ask him about Junior. I asked him so many questions. I was there for an hour.
This guy,
No, we were
There's
straight
a
up
whole
there
bunch
for
of
an
people,
hour.
and I was asking the most questions.
that's not surprising.
I asked him about Junior. Do you think? And basically, if it's Junior, even at 20 million, Junior's priced out. Not going to do it. He needs a partner, but he needs a silent partner. So that's what Junior's working on now, trying to find a silent partner that he can run
Harvick.
as Junior Motorsports. No, Harvick don't have that kind of money.
No, not that money.
Not that kind of like money that you're willing to risk,
Yeah.
100 mil
Uh,
a year.
But it's like, so basically Junior needs a silent partner that will allow him to run Junior Motorsports. And this is kind of a conversation of me and him kind of talking about it back and forth. But because Junior has said on his podcast that he does not want to partner with somebody and it's just his name on the door.
Yeah,
Not interested.
Yeah, he wants
He
to run.
wants it to be Junior Motorsports. So he just needs a financial backer that will come in and invest that money with him to acquire the charter, and then he'll run the team. So it's possible. It's totally possible.
I just think it's interesting that 2 of his former drivers are at SHR.
Yeah.
and
They were
That
talking
would be
about the
interesting.
drivers too.
So we did talk about the drivers.
yeah.
Ryan Priest out. Nowhere
Yeah,
to go.
I think
Look
so.
how much he's sponsored by Haas
The whole
Automation.
time.
No other connections to any other teams. Like he's
United
out.
Rental, maybe.
No, I think
A
that's
couple of
mostly.
races. No, man. He's
no, it
Ryan
is,
Priest is going to be out. I'm just telling you right now.
Yeah, no, I think he's out. And
So
then,
just to answer Kuzma real quick, do the teams that have 4 charters get paid from NASCAR to give one up? Okay, so here's the deal. So Stuart Haas is out. Not to worry about it. I'm telling you, they're gone. Also,
who's the other-
Gibbs and Hendrick will be grandfathered in at 4. They will not have to change.
So
It's going to be weird.
so
Like you're
my-
only going to be allowed to have 3, but they'll be allowed to have 4.
So my thing is that does that give them an unfair advantage?
That's what I asked Jeff Gluck. And he said, well, it seems to put Stuart Haas out of business having 4 and struggling to be able to
it
fill it.
doesn't seem to hurt them too.
But it's also having less.
Yeah,
is
but
also
look at it. You
helping
have
out
3
other
good cars
teams.
and you have Bowman who's slow. You
Yeah.
have Joe Gibbs. They're really good. Ty Gibbs and Truex aren't that great
No.
yet. Not yet.
No.
Winless.
And
So 4 cars
shockingly
might be
for
a disadvantage.
Truex should
if you
be
look at
smacking
wins,
people.
Truex yes is down,
If-
but he's
it's like-
up
it's
there
like
in
this, too.
points.
Let's say you get 100 parts from the manufacturers that make all the parts. Let's say you get 100 parts of one particular thing. Let's just say front
Louvers.
bumper or
Okay.
louvers, whatever. They aero test and they test every single part to find which ones have the best parts, which ones test the best, right? Because I don't care if you make it out of the same mill, one's going to be a little bit better than the rest. So if you have 100 of them and 25 are better than others, then you're going to spread those 25 out probably equally amongst your teams. But that means, let's say on average, 1 in every 4 is going to have that good part. That means your other cars are not going to run as good, but some weeks they may run great. Like and you're kind of trying to combine a bunch of, okay, you got let's say your front bumper gives a little lower points on downforce and drag or whatever, but we're going to give you the motor with a little bit better performance. Like it's super convoluted with this
Very
because
weird.
the quality control is not that tight. So you have parts that perform better than others. So you try to make it up. Okay, the front bumper is not that great on this one, but the right and left front fenders are a little bit better
Piece-
I mean,
aero
it makes
wise.
sense.
so-
You piece
yeah.
it together. Yeah. it makes
Yeah,
sense.
so it's not you just throw them all on and it's good. You got to throw them all on and find which parts work the best. Like it's very, very convoluted.
Something else Kuzman asked, is that why Junior's trying to get the rights to the number 8 back?
Could be. I think
It's
I
pretty
think he's
much
one of those rights back
locked
for a
in.
long time, and it sounds like the Wicked Witch of the West, Teresa Earnhardt's finally gonna let it go.
That car's gonna come back. Guaranteed throwback.
It did sound like, again, we talked about this
Oh,
on the Twitter
okay.
too.
No, can
it
we-
sounds like the 88 will move to the full-time ride, and the number 8, if he does get the trademark, eventually, whenever it happens, the number 8 will become the part-time ride.
That'd be cool.
So like
Oh,
specialists
yeah.
like Travis Quapples,
Will be in the 8.
or
Bubba.
not Travis Quapple, Carson
Carson.
Quapple. Different
Travis is
people
his
like
dad.
that. Like, like if a Cup guy wants to run a number 8 junior car or whatever, if Junior runs the number 8, like it'll be the number 8. That'll be the all-star car.
Yeah. That'd be
Interesting.
cool. I'd like that a lot. The scheme can come back. It's very convenient that Dale Jr. had all these. I don't know if you saw his tweet. He had all these old hats, that he now is like gonna be selling, and he's gonna autograph them all from like 2007, the old format and everything. I'm like,
It's a
very
conspiracy
convenient.
theory. No, I think she's letting it go, and he's gonna be able to get it. So that's awesome.
I think it was already like confirmed. Like it's already.
I think
a
she
done
already
deal.
let it go, and I think they already have the trademark in.
Well,
Yeah, I think it's in.
so his trademark is in to purchase it or rent it, right? Hers is expiring, but she has not put it in time to get it renewed before his will. So it's a
Some-
time.
I don't know that she put one in though.
No, she
No,
did.
she hasn't. But if she,
Yeah, that's
let's
what I'm
just say
saying.
tomorrow,
That's why I say
she's
that's
like,
why
oh, I'm gonna get
she-
you and put
She's
it
not
in.
renewing
She's letting
and
it
letting
go.
him get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, is basically, and it allows him to do things like even like video games, like they were saying,
All
like
of it.
anything on there. It's
Yeah.
really, it very well likely won't be something like on the car. It's more like the merchandise
She's
and
the
like
silent
different things.
She's the silent
Backer.
backer by selling the 8.
So it sounds like because of the new charter deal, everybody was saying, just to go back to that, I'm trying to remember all the things from the tweet up.
We were talking about
So it
drivers.
sounded
Where
like
drivers
Front
going.
Row was going to buy 2 charters and become the new Tier 1 Ford partner or whatever. That's not going to happen. They're only going to
they
buy one
can't.
because of the new 3-year or three car limit.
Yep.
So there's that, and then there's sounds like Trackhouse is going to buy one. RFK sounds likely to buy one, and then the fourth one is the one that's still up in the air.
2311.
It's still up in the air. That one, it sounds like RFK, Trackhouse, and Front Row is pretty much all but guaranteed. Ford's going to probably buy that for Front Row to
Maybe
make them the
Spire.
number 1 Ford partner.
Spire Gainbridge has got what, 2 right now?
Yep, could be Spire, could be. I just know Front Row is probably going to get one because Ford's going to make sure they get one, and then RFK's probably going to
they'll
get one.
probably get a
Ford
little
will
help
probably
from
have a
Ford.
hand in that one.
Yeah.
And then the other 2 are probably kind of questionable between Trackhouse, 2311, Spire,
What are other teams?
Legacy, maybe.
I don't know.
No, I
don't
don't see. I don't see.
I don't
Legacy
see it, but
jumping.
I'm just saying. I mean, that they would be an eligible partner.
Yeah. Kuzman, he's like, could you imagine if some random guy noticed that before juniors, lawyers, and teams applied for it first? Just
You
like,
can use it. Here's the caveat. I want to ride to every race. I want a ticket to every race, and I want my bus parked next to yours.
dude,
Just want limited Budweiser.
that would be hilarious.
You can have it on those
No,
conditions.
so the drivers, right?
Yeah, the drivers. Okay.
So it's rumored that what was it? Briscoe to the 21.
this is basically confirmed.
Briscoe to the 21.
Yeah, Harrison Burton is out.
Makes
So
sense.
Briscoe's going
I'm-
to stay with Ford. He's got good connections.
Yeah, good
Ford-
sponsorship.
Ford, out of all the drivers, Ford wants to keep Briscoe.
Yes. They said
Interesting.
Barry shouldn't have an issue finding.
Yeah, he'll-
a
So with Barry, it sounds like him and Rodney Childers
duo.
are going to be a paired up deal.
They were talking a little bit on the broadcast today about how the two of them have really been gelling and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Okay.
they're a package deal. So they just got to land a team, and they'll be a package deal. They're done. They're already running pretty decent.
They'll be fine.
They get into something better, a little
And
better
Noah Gregson.
support.
Noah Gregson, he's outperforming almost
His thing
all
is
of
he's
them.
outperforming, and he has sponsorship.
Yeah.
lot
so
of, he's really well
for
sponsored.
those 3, I don't see an issue. I mean, one
I
to
see.
each team.
I see him going to front row.
RFK, front
Gregson.
row.
Yeah,
I mean,
A
even
lot of
I mean,
sponsorship.
could Wood Brothers buy a charter if they
they're
want
not
it?
going to.
I doubt it, but I'm just
They could, but they're not going to.
so. I mean, you got 2 out of 3 there, and then hypothetically, let's just say
The big
Junior
question,
got in.
the biggest,
okay, well,
the
Barry
biggest,
could go back.
yeah,
with Junior.
Barry would, yeah.
He'd probably be their one car.
If
Yeah.
Trackhouse gets a charter, Barry's in big trouble
Yeah,
because they got to get a ride for what's his name? Zane Smith.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
You have
So-
Zane, and then you obviously the problem Trackhouse has right now is that they have too many drivers. Like they
they
Yeah.
do. They got a lot of drivers.
if
Yep.
they go to even with
Yeah, but
with 3 charters, you're
here's the
still
thing with Trackhouse. They're
stuck.
just contracted to drive for Trackhouse. Didn't say what series.
That's true.
That's a good
Stuart,
point.
Daniel Suarez has a multi-year deal with Trackhouse, but it's not for Cup. It's just
So
a
they can move him.
multi-year. Yeah. So,
Oh,
so
that's
we talked
interesting.
about that.
Yeah.
So it
What if
sounds like they said Daniel Suarez would be a lifetime Trackhouse driver.
What if he goes like IMSA with a Trackhouse car or something?
Could be.
Good.
Doesn't he
There's a
have?
lot of
Doesn't he
Sounds
have like a
next
lot of
year is
road
going to be
course?
the last year for Suarez unless he kind of gets it together.
That would be interesting.
If he doesn't have like substantial results by middle of next year and SVG continues to improve, Suarez will be
trouble.
the new guy. They'll
Man.
swap Suarez for SVG, and then they'll already have Zane Smith in the third charter that they're going to acquire potentially.
Right.
Anything
So-
else? Anything else you guys talk about with Jeff?
I
I
can't
wasn't-
remember.
I wasn't in that
I feel like there
conversation.
is, but I can't, bro. I can't remember. We talked for so long.
Yeah.
Any other questions Jake asked?
I wasn't in the conversation, to be honest. I was talking to locals, so you guys were hanging out for like 30, 40 minutes, though.
Yeah, we were there for a long time. Tweeter
yeah.
was awesome.
I mean, the
dude.
big
That
thing
was so much fun.
big thing was definitely 3 charter limit.
That's the
That's
big news.
And
wild.
Not taking it away from the other 2. It's just like, what is
That's-
going on?
So yeah, gosh, man, I can't imagine. I mean, not like you said, NASCAR's like, what are you gonna
Well,
do?
remember, it's only for 7 years. It's
yeah,
granted, it's 7
but
years,
I'm
but it's
telling
like,
you,
that could change.
If I'm not one of those, two
You know why
teams-
NASCAR does not want to do unlimited charters or lifetime charters? Because that kills the leverage.
Yeah.
Of course.
They want to keep doing the 7-year deal because they have all the leverage. You have to sign our deal to how much % we think you should get.
I don't see this fight extending much more past this year.
Bowman Gray is going to be the clash next year, sounds like.
Yeah.
We should get a schedule in 2 weeks for next year.
Okay.
That's
That's
nice.
the rumor.
Okay.
So Bowman Gray is going to be the clash. It's going to replace LA, obviously.
I'm cool with
Not
that.
going back there. What was the other one? Richmond is losing a date to Mexico.
Yep.
I have heard
Mexico
that
City race.
rumors.
Maybe about the same time of year. Maybe not. Definitely not on Easter weekend.
Yep.
What was the other one?
North
Daytona
Pole.
will become the championship or play a regular season finale before
Yep.
the start of the playoffs.
Next year.
Obviously, everybody knows Phoenix was announced as the
Yeah.
championship for next year.
Yep.
Also announced that the cities are bidding for championship, which I think it's good. Good
I think
for
so.
NASCAR. What was
I
the
mean,
other
Super
one?
Bowls, NBA, All-Star games, they all do that. So
Next year is the last year of the Chicago Street Course. That will probably be the last, and then we're going back to Chicagoland Speedway.
I'm about that.
That-
I'm fine
that-
with that.
works.
Unless this year and next year just absolutely
Crush it.
blows away. Yeah. I mean, it's obvious now after being to Indy, Chicago Street Course is just trying to copy Indy, which is fine. It's great. Like, I think they should. Like, the whole concert in the infield and all that, like, trying to create that whole environment. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, but you
I
can't
get it.
do that concert with a country singer. Like, that just doesn't make sense.
No,
they-
bro,
well,
it
they-
has to.
they weren't.
You have to be No, you're right. But you got to be targeting 20-year-olds, man.
Yeah.
they had the chain smokers. I mean, like it was not.
I still think you're with the lineup, you're still encroaching the 30s to 40s.
you are.
You got to, after
No,
what
you
we
need-
saw this, we didn't even talk about this.
EDC, you need the
Turn
electric.
3 and 4 was insane. Infield turn 3 and 4. Bro, you like
Listen, it's
like
still
we
early.
said,
You want to
it-
take
it-
a look? Go on Snapchat, go to the map, and go click on it. And you'll just go through people's Snapchats, man. I'm telling you.
it made Daytona and Talladega infield look like a retirement home.
We got out partied. 100%. It was out partied
Wow.
Daytona.
You hear that, Mark?
You
It
have
was out partied.
you have
It was all college kids.
50,000 people raging, bro.
Straight up.
Dang.
Bring whatever you want in. It's a one day. You put up a tent, you get a grill, party.
And it's
and
yeah,
it rained.
one day.
It
And when it
rained.
rained, it went nuts.
Oh, it's
The
like
party-
this is great.
The party cranked to 11 when it rained.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
They had water slides just out. Just water slides, just mud wrestling, like
Jeez.
people dancing on cars.
all
it
the
was
all the
everything.
kind of debauchery and crazy things you can imagine. It was going down.
Yeah, it was wild. It was wild. People were just walking around in trash bags as ponchos.
It cracks
Exactly
me up
what you
because
imagine.
guys were raving on just how like pristine and how
No,
wonderfully
yeah,
clean
yeah,
everything
yeah.
is, and then there's like but then there's turn 3.
No, you go to
Found the
turn,
project.
turn 3 and 4 is. Do you feel like
People
you're on
showed
another
up just
planet?
for that. Just showed up for the concert.
They just go to the party.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. Go on Snapchat.
We might
look
be
up some
staying
videos.
turn 3 next year. No.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No,
That's
no.
it was kind of fun to walk through and kind of people watch, and we're like, this is kind of a rough crowd, bro.
Like no one was like it wasn't like mean or hostile. It was just everyone was partying.
Partying
Everyone was
hard.
happy and partying.
Yeah.
You know,
People completely
TJ, you've seen the
blackout
videos where
drunk
people
everywhere.
run on top of the porta potties and we chuck beer at them.
I've heard about it.
That
yeah.
was happening. 100%. Quite
All
a bit.
that kind
while
of
it was
stuff.
raining.
While
Oh,
it was
yeah,
raining.
yeah.
Yes.
All that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't know, man. Part of me is just like, if NASCAR wants to grow, like that's what they need to do. They need to figure out how to do that. Like we were talking about, like why can't the Daytona Night Race have something like this? They don't sell any camping in the road course. You could
You could
create
easily
the
do this.
ultimate crazy,
They
awesome
already do
environment.
it with Welcome to Rockville. You
Yeah.
could do this. You know, some giant
I'm
all day.
saying during
DJ,
during the night race in August, you
These
have plenty of
gates
room.
opened at 8 a.m. and it was just techno electric music. Like not exactly my cup of tea, but a lot of college kids. I mean, how many colleges do we have here in the state?
A lot
I mean,
around
a
this
bunch.
area.
I mean, you
A
kidding me?
ton. You know,
lot
that
of
would
big
draw
ones.
in all those people.
Yep.
And then it's just a party.
Yeah, and then you
So-
introduce all those people into racing and just the whole thing. I don't know, man. It's like, yeah.
It's special.
Okay.
It was different.
So, any other crazy things you learned from the tweet up?
No, I think that was about
Go
it.
back to that.
I'll let you know. I'll interrupt you if I think of another one.
You as soon as I move on to the next topic. Or
Oh,
something.
actually, no, I'm just kidding.
I was like, here we
I
go.
was like, oh, what did I forget?
I'm trying to think. Let's see. What other things do we want?
I
to
know
talk
this has
about?
been a
well,
long
I guess-
one, but
We're up to 2 hours and 6 minutes.
Austin Dillon's gonna give it one more go next year. It's not confirmed, but if he has another lackluster year next year, it'll be his last.
Is he? Do you? Well, probably don't know. But I was gonna say, does he go back then to Xfinity? Does
No,
he just done?
Management of RCR to eventually take over the business.
yeah.
That
He
kinda
will,
makes
he
sense.
will be the future owner of RCR.
That kind of makes sense.
Did they talk about at all on the broadcast for the 600 why like Trump was all around like Richard Childress?
Not a single mention.
Because I think
That
They,
I-
didn't,
Richard,
they didn't even mention Trump being there.
Not that I caught. Now
Wow.
To be fair-
he
like,
did
the
a
whole
flyover
speech?
and everything.
nope. As far as I know, they didn't even hint at it.
That's shocking because like him and Richard Childress were like this, and I
Yeah, they're
I
very
think
close.
Richard Childress like he was like a personal guest. Like, I'm bringing President Trump in,
That's a heck of a personal guest.
but no, he was on the pit box with him. They were at the like there's tons of videos and photos of Trump just hanging out with. He wasn't with anyone else, if that makes sense. Like he was with Richard Childress
Yeah.
the whole time. So I don't know, man.
Interesting. Greg, JFB, Gregson to the 3.
That would be
Gregson
dope.
to the 3.
He does
Wow.
have that
Mm.
Bass Pro Shop connection.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I could see Gregson representing the 3 proudly.
Gregson and Kyle Busch would be a fun,
Oh my
fun
gosh!
Oh
teammate.
gosh, that would see. I find Kyle Busch so prissy sometimes. He's older. Like he's very like, well, he's got a nice house, like all this. Like, Gregson, he's still like a kid. He's a partier, so it would be interesting.
but see,
It's
that's
like,
what I'm
it's
saying.
like it's like Beverly Hills and like Trailer Park.
Gregson,
Yes.
Gregson kind of still like I could see him trying to like be the intimidator, reincarnated kind of thing.
You could try.
I could see him kind of like trying that persona.
I just want to see him win a race so he vomits again.
See if it still happens. If it's still
See
a
if he
thing.
figured it out.
Yeah, right.
All right. Do we have anything we want to talk about? Anything else? Like, obviously, we've been talking constantly for 2 hours.
I do just kind of go back to Charlotte, man. I wish they would have kept that race going. Everybody was already up. Everybody was awake. Like, yeah, you're not going to get 2-3 million people, but just friggin' run the race, man. Like, let's
Just
go.
finish
Like,
it for the fans. The people
what
who were
I
there.
heard was like they shut it down because they were afraid. Like it looked like the race was going to end after 2 a.m. Like it's already 2 a.m. What the hell? Who cares if it's 2:30 a.m.?
Or
Like
3.
you're already up at 2 a.m. Like
It's a holiday.
Two
if
versus
you're
3.
gonna be up to 2 a.m. to watch a race, you're gonna stay at 2:30, 3 o'clock. Like whatever, let's go.
Yeah.
And like,
Like
I
I
said,
hate
or,
that. I
or
hate
if
they
nothing
made
else,
everybody stay in the rain and everything. Like that's just trash.
or if nothing
bro.
else, just say, hey, we're gonna run, 8 o'clock in the morning. Like even that.
Well,
like,
they can't contractually schedule because of the rule book says once they make it halfway, they have to call the race. Like, it's
I
just
see what you're
stupid,
saying.
man. With that many laps to go in such a long race, I agree. You got 150 laps to go. Yeah, we're gonna start again at 8 a.m. Monday morning.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! Like, bro, you camp all that weekend, you spend all that money and everything to watch half a Coke 600. Trash. We voted no on the Jeff Gluck poll because it
It
the
wasn't
Coke
a Coke 600.
a good race. It's not a Coke 600.
No, it wasn't. It was the Coke. What?
And it could have been,
374?
and they chose not to be. I don't know, man.
Oh,
We saw the
them
teams
calling
getting their
it-
little naps in the Porta Johns.
Them calling it, saying it was humidity.
That was weird.
Guess,
guess
we're
we're
just
not
never
racing
gonna
Daytona.
run anywhere in the South.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, how are you gonna dry the track?
We have
in
like
Florida?
120% humidity in
After
Daytona.
a rainstorm. Are you kidding me? They'll never get it dry.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. It was just a sloppy excuse. Honestly, it took all the eyes away from Larson missing it. So whatever. Egg on NASCAR.
Honestly, that was the one thing I've seen a lot of people is, and even Larson said like this was supposed to be, a highlight of my life, and it ended up being one of my biggest disappointments.
Man, that was a crushing
That was
read.
sad. Yeah.
I knew it was coming, but man,
Yeah.
that wasn't hard to.
But for everything on Larson's side, he had no control in the
It wasn't
rain.
his fault. No,
couldn't
I
do
mean,
it.
It absolutely was his fault. He sped on pit road.
well, no, I meant the
Well, I'm
weather.
talking about the weather.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were
Like-
talking about it's finished.
No,
I was
hold
like,
on.
what are y'all talking about?
No,
My
he
bad.
sped on pit road. Yeah,
that was on
It
him.
is what it is.
But
It's what rookies do.
I was gonna say, but again, like they did talk about this on the broadcast. Anytime you have a major delay like that, everyone gets out of your rhythm. It just breaks your focus, just changes everything up. Maybe he doesn't speed if it doesn't. What
I
shoulda,
was
coulda, woulda.
super thankful they had so many caution pit stops or pit stops under
Yeah.
caution because I was like, because I knew that's such a high risk.
Oh yeah.
The Indy 500 pit road is one of the easiest to speed on.
He figured it out.
Yep.
Where are we going next week?
Gateway.
Ooh,
Gross.
See, I liked the Gateway last year.
Kenny
It was
Wallace
all
here.
right.
Kenny Wallace here.
Why
Come-
do you hate on my boy Kenny, bro? I
come
love
join-
Kenny
I just-
Wallace.
Listen, I like everything about him except
He
his
is
voice.
one of the most eccentric people I've ever seen.
His voice is like, all right. Kenny Wallace here.
Well, we got it.
Like, yeah, he's a crazy
that's
old
not
man.
my
I love
business.
Kenny Wallace though.
But no, it should be a good race. I mean, I don't remember a lot of highlights off the race the last few years. So.
Noah Gregson blew a brake rotor.
I was gonna say Gregson.
Didn't he get a concussion from that?
He might have.
The Hamlin Chastain thing, that was the biggest
was a
thing.
good
I
beat.
remember.
Hocevar, I remember. Wasn't this at the Hocevar's first?
This was a host of our Chase Elliott race.
Yes,
Yeah, he
and
did
he,
good.
and he
Well, 9
showed
car
up.
race.
Yeah, he showed up and made Corey LaJoy look terrible.
Oh no, yeah. Host of our replaced the 7. Corey
Yes.
LaJoy went to Chase Elliott.
That's what
and
it was.
Put it on him.
Yeah,
Corey LaJoy. I don't know if he's all that. After all the trash talk he did with Denny Hamlin years ago. I don't know.
man. I couldn't tell you.
I don't know. Watching the Hocevar thing was the telling moment for me, and I'm like, ooh, I understand. Like maybe not. Like you don't want to recognize. You don't want to wreck the 9, but and you're probably not racing 100% because it's not your team or whatever. But like Hocevar,
All right, well, Allgaier
makes-
didn't want to wreck the 5, and he got a 13th place finish
from the back.
with a lap down.
Yeah,
All right, come on.
like
Hey,
that's what I'm
hours
saying.
there.
Hats off to all guy.
That was
finishing
amazing.
13.
That was. And
That's awesome.
that was another thing I was really looking forward to because I'm like, okay, Allgaier drove from the back to up to, what was it, 15th or whatever. And they were commenting on the radio. He's like, look, this car is stupid fast. When Larson gets in this thing, it's going to fly.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that would be a really good judge to see like where
You
where
think
does
they
he
play
line-
out the race if Larson did win the 500?
What do you mean?
Like, let's say he won, right? And Rick Hendrick put up a hot number 5 down there just so he could show up and, get maybe a podium finish or first at the 600.
I think all of Hendricks
that'd
was
be
hoping for
wild.
that. To
a
that to
double
happen.
win.
I
Kyle
think,
Larson wins
I
both
think
races.
both cars had 100% effort in them.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
even
agree.
a little more if you could.
Yeah. I honestly think the 5 team is giving 100% every week.
Oh, I agree.
5 team and the 24. Although I think the 24 has not been as good because I think they've been experimenting the last 3 or 4 weeks.
I mean, they're pretty much
Maybe the
locked
last
in.
5
I mean,
weeks.
they had a good race this week.
They
Yeah.
were nasty fast
They hit
for
the-
week after
they hit
week
the
after
wall.
week after week. And then they really dropped down to like top 10 finishes, maybe top 15 finishes.
At short tracks.
I think they're just experimenting.
It would make
I agree.
sense. Yeah,
I agree.
I don't know. But well, anyway, guys, this has been officially our longest podcast ever.
I mean, it's Motorsports Christmas. I mean,
I know.
it
And
is
not
what
to
it is.
mention that-
we had a lot of racing to talk
They
about.
literally-
we didn't even talk about some of it.
The
so
storm that stole Christmas.
Yeah,
Mother
basically.
Nature ran the double.
Yeah, basically. So, all right. Well, we'll see you guys next week. You guys got anything you want to add before I close this out?
Nope.
Nope.
I'm
Okay.
gonna try to get some sleep.
Yep. Exactly. So we'll see you guys next week after Gateway. Take it easy. We're
Peace.
going to bed.